You can measure the size of an elephant. You can clock the speed of a cheetah, but you can't quantify the heart of a kings, queens, and in-betweens. Welcome to Dr. Boxing Talk. Stream starts now.
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets. Yo, what's good? Y'all know what time it is, man. The doctor's in the house. Yes, sir. Yes, man. Johnny Garcia in the building, man. Number one, numero uno. Let's get right. We got Smoochie in the building. We got JC in the building. And also, I clicked everything except the right thing when I was starting the stream. Man. I clicked on so many overlays. That's why I'm laughing. Savage Unicorn in the building. All right, man. So look, check this out, man. You know how we started off, man. We always gotta start off with a prayer to show our gratitude and our appreciation for the Most High, man. So please join me in prayer. Bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, please give us the wisdom and the strength to control what we can control and know what we can't. Give us the wherewithal to be able to let go and let you take the wheel, Lord, and know that your plans are bigger and better than our own. And let us be able to accept the things that are above our knowledge, our ability, and our comprehension, Lord. But also too, give us the intelligence to know the things that we can control and know that we do have a lot of power to do the right thing and also make those that are unaware aware in a positive and in a calm and in a patient manner, Lord. Jesus, Lord. And please thank you for letting us wake up to see this wonderful day. And let us continue to see others, Lord. Bless us with good health, good wealth, and good health mentally, spiritually, physically, and financially as well, Lord. In Jesus' name, and bless all those that are going through things that are, and that, especially those that are in a worse position than our own, Lord, and give them the strength to keep going, and let them know that every day we wake up is another blessing, another opportunity to be better than the last. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so I was trying to... All right, let's get it, man. So today we have some things to talk about, man. My bad for the jumbo prayer right there, but I had some stuff I wanted to say, but God knows my heart anyway. All right, man. So look, here go his late self. Who late? My boy Ty in the building. All right, so look, so today I just dropped a video, right, about David Morrell, man. So I go into thinking, David Morrell, those of you that not hip, he recently said that he wants to fight the winner of Artur Beterbiev. Amen, Lobo. Amen. Lobo in the building. My boy Lobo in the building. David Morrell said he wants to fight the winner of Artur Beterbiev and Bivol, right? And this whole time I was like, man, I was hoping for a rematch clause, but there may or may not be a rematch clause, right? And from what I've seen now, that there's apparently no rematch clause. You would think that a fight of this magnitude, similar to the Fury and Usyk undisputed fight, would be a rematch clause, similar to even with Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. That was another undisputed fight. That was a rematch clause. So I'm not saying that every fight has a rematch clause that goes for undisputed, but when the belts are split between two title holders, you would think that it's almost by default that they would have a rematch clause. Your average someone in the building. What's up, Doc? gotta get the carrot. Got that steak and rice fresh from the bodega. Hey, let's get right. So my boy got the good eats. But so with that, I was kind of shocked because Dimitri Bivol said, hey man, there's no rematch clause. We didn't go for the option for a rematch. Now we know it's boxing, right, and it moves with fluidity. So just because it wasn't a rematch clause yesterday or last week, or might not be a rematch clause in 2 weeks, that don't mean that there won't be a rematch clause, right? Because look at Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. They had a rematch clause and no rematch happened. So there's things that happen that can occur. Or even look at what Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. They had a rematch clause, but because Usyk was stripped, their rematch will no longer be for undisputed. So there's a lot of things that go with boxing that's sometimes accounted for and anticipated. Some things go unaccounted for and unanticipated, so we just gotta take the good with the bad, bad with the good. My boy Dub in the building. Yen says hopefully no rematch, let the winner enjoy. What's good, Yen? I disagree with that, man. I like the rematch clauses because, like, if it's a close fight, especially, like, what if it's like a split decision? Or what if it's like a majority decision? Even a close unanimous decision, I would want a rematch. However, I do agree with you, though. I don't think that there has to be rematches. Like, some people think that you always have to have a rematch. Like, for example, Tank versus Pitbull. There's so many other fights that I want to see Gervonta engage in before he fights Esau Pitbull Cruz again. You know what I'm saying? Just because he didn't get knocked out, people think that he should have a rematch. No, I don't. So I do agree with the notion that you're saying that you don't always need a rematch, but when it's undisputed, a fight that's like 8 years in the making, and if it's close, I would like a rematch. But if let's say Beterbiev goes out there and slaughters Bivol, then there's no rematch necessary. There's no rematch needed. Or like even Bivol goes out there and outclasses and punishes Beterbiev, then yeah, there's no rematch needed. Like for example with Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, they had a rematch clause, but I was glad that rematch clause wasn't enabled, or they failed to enact it, or whatever the case was. I was happy because who wants to see that again? Unless you just hate Errol Spence. Like, unless you hate Errol Spence, who the heck wants to see that again, Yeah, we watch sports because we like the competition. There's no point in a rematch simply just cause, I think that a rematch should be justified, like it was a close win or a close loss, you know what I'm saying, a close decision, or even if it was like a stoppage, but the stoppage came late or something like that, and there was momentum swings throughout the course of the fight, then a rematch. But yeah, if it's just one-sided, then no, we don't need a rematch. But I just think the rematch clause, even though it's not always, like I said, it's boxing, right? We see, like I gave you examples of fights that had a rematch clause and it didn't happen. I gave you examples of fights that didn't have a rematch clause and a rematch happened. So nothing is definitive with boxing, unfortunately. That's why it gets so much confusion surrounded with it. But I would like this one to have a rematch clause, and then like if they decide not to have it for whatever reason, I think that'd be better. in my personal opinion. You don't think he is retiring after? We talking better be a Bivol? Do I think better be is retiring afterwards? That's a good question. I don't think so. I think better be retires if he loses. I think if he wins, he doesn't retire. In my personal opinion, but I think if he loses, he probably retires. Rematches get in the way of the next good fight, just like they did Crawford. No, I disagree with that. I think a lot of people could blame Crawford. I think they erroneously blame rematch clause for that getting in the way. No, Crawford, sometimes we got to realize too, like there's pros and cons of being with a promotional company. So Crawford is a free agent. So that got in the way of him getting Fundora, not Errol Spence. Errol Spence is with PBC. Fundora is a PBC fighter. So was Tim Tszyu. Both who fought, right? Tim Tszyu and Fundora fought. So naturally, all these fighters do. All these promotional companies do it, right? They try to, and this is why Big Turk is important, because Top Rank tries to keep their belts. Bob Arum and Top Rank tries to keep their belts in house. Al Heyman and PBC tries to keep their belts in house. Oscar Golden Boy, they try to keep their belts in house. So I think people think that the rematch got in the way. I don't think the rematch got in the way at all. It's just what got in the way is that Terrence Crawford is a free agent and he has nobody to go at bat on his behalf. So no, I don't think that rematch got in the way at all. They just didn't have it. And I think that was the right decision. He said, "Yo, Doc, how you? I'm doing good, Jermaine. How you doing, bro? My boy Jermaine in the building." If there's a fight out there that deserves rematch, just Tank versus Bull again. Come on now. I don't think so, Johnny. I wouldn't mind. No, so don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind seeing Tank and Pitbull, but they're making it. Some people want to see that fight next. Wouldn't you rather see Tank versus Shakur before Tank versus Pitbull rematch? Wouldn't you rather see Tank versus Loma before Tank and Pitbull rematch? Hell, wouldn't you rather see Tank versus Apeda before Tank and Pitbull rematch? I know I would. So so that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I'm against it. If it happened, that's cool. That's a good fight. But no, I don't. There's like 4 or 5 other fights that I'd rather see Tank engage in before a Pitbull rematch. Like don't get me wrong, I would like to see it, but yeah, and plus he's fighting exactly average. Plus he's fighting Jose Rayo Valenzuela. There's no guarantee that he's gonna get by him. I think he does. I like Pitbull. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch. And I think he does beat Rayo, but I don't. There's so many other fights that I'd rather see Tank in before seeing Pitbull. So I do agree with Yen in that regard, but I do think there's times for rematches and there's times not to. I don't think Tank versus Shakur is gonna happen anytime soon. Yeah, it don't matter, but I agree with you. I don't think it is either. But that don't mean that if he's fighting Pitbull, if we have Tank versus Pitbull too, then we know that Tank versus Shakur is not happening. So I'd rather be in the unknown and hope for the best than go with something that I've seen before. Like I know a lot of people want to see that rematch because Pitbull didn't get knocked out, but does anybody think that Tank lost that fight? That's the thing. That's why. So I kind of agree with Yen on that, because people want to see a rematch just cause. Like I wouldn't mind seeing it, but why do people want to see a rematch? Do they want to see a rematch because it was close? Do they want to see a rematch because it was controversial? No, they just want to see a rematch because Pitbull didn't get knocked out.
Yeah,
and that's crazy. That's the only reason. That's the only reason, bro. That's not crazy. They want to see a rematch because he didn't get knocked out, not because they felt like he was robbed, not because there was a controversial decision, not because it was a close fight. It's because he didn't get knocked out. That's not justification for a rematch to me. But I would like to see. It's a good fight. It was a fun fight. I would like to see it again. Yeah, but I don't think that's. There's so many other fights. I just named 3 off the top of my head, but there's so many other fights I still like to see Tank in before Pitbull. Hell, there's other fights that I like to see Pitbull in other than before Tank. I'd rather see Pitbull versus Liam Paro before Pitbull and Tank. I'd rather see Pitbull and Devin Haney before Pitbull and Tank. I'd rather see Pitbull and Shakur before Pitbull and Tank too, or Pitbull and Zapata. There's so many other fights, bro. Why do we want to see that fight again? I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm gonna watch it regardless. So whether it happens or it doesn't happen, I'm gonna watch Tank's next fight, and I'm gonna watch Pitbull's next fight. If it's with each other, then so be it. But yeah, man. So, and speaking of Pitbull having his hands full this weekend, man, y'all see the thing right here, man. I want to know which fight do y'all think is the best fight on this awesome card, man. All these fights are good. Like they said, there's like 3 fights that could headline their own card. They say Andrew Ruiz versus Jarrell Big Baby Miller could headline his own card. They say David Morrell versus Hot Rod Kaladzik could headline his own card. They say Pitbull versus Valenzuela could headline their own card. And then of course we have the actual headliner, Terence Crawford versus Israil Madrimov, man. So I think these fights are, and then Andy Cruz versus Antonio Moran too. That can't be a headline, but that's also another good fight. Oh, and Jared Big Baby Anderson versus Martin Bacoli. They say that can headline its own card. Man, there's just so many good fights, man. The fighter that I'm most excited to see is Terence Bud Crawford, because he's number 1, 2, or 3 pound for pound, wherever you want to rank him. It has to be top 3. It's either him, Inoue, or Usyk. There's no other. And I think the order is interchangeable from there. But me personally, I have Usyk number 1, Inoue number 2, and Bud number 3, just due to sheer inactivity, not because of skill or lack of skill. But I think that, that's why I'm excited to see Bud, because he's a pound for pound talent, generational talent. And then we haven't seen him in a year, right? Since he dismantled Errol Spence, and he's on 11 KO streak, so I'm most excited to see him. But the fight that I'm most excited to see is Pitbull versus Valenzuela, man. I think that's going to be fireworks, man. I think that fight is going to be great, man. To be fair, didn't Pitbull take it on short notice? Yes, he did. That's true. He was supposed to fight Rolly. Tank was supposed to fight Rolly, and Pitbull stepped in short notice. And I want to see the rematch because Pitbull's pressure has Davis get on his bike and outbox Cruz. Tank said it was his hand, but it was still off. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Seeing Tank get pushed back. It was still odd seeing Tank get pushed back. Okay, I got you. The Anderson fight, do you know much about his opponent, Martin Bacoli? Yeah, I've seen a lot of interviews of people saying that's really a dangerous fight. Yeah, I think it's a dangerous fight. Martin Bacoli, I've seen him fight like 3 times. He's from the Congo, man. He has the thing that I'm worried about Bacoli is that Bacoli, he has 1 loss, and it came to Michael Hunter. And Michael Hunter has a similar fighting style as Jared Anderson, but I just think that Jared Anderson does everything better. Like Michael Hunter is kind of athletic, kind of slick, and he throws combinations, and that's how he beat Bacoli. But Bacoli did get injured. He injured his shoulder, right, during that fight or something like that, so it was stopped. But I think it stopped like in the 10th or 11th. It was stopped late, if I'm not mistaken. But I think that Jared Anderson is still a big test. I think this is going to be the best fight that Jared Anderson has fought, best fighter that Jared Anderson has fought. But I do think that he's a better version of Michael Hunter. So that's why I'm like, man, I don't know. That's why I think this fight is good, because I do think that he's a better version. I think he's more athletic. I think I believe he's taller, so he's a bigger guy, and he throws better combinations when he does decide to throw combinations. So, yeah. So I think that that fight should be good, man. I think that fight should be good as long as Martin Bacoli brings it like I think he's gonna bring it. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Yeah, that sounded crazy. Bring it like I think he's gonna bring it.
What?
Hey, yo. So yeah, I think this fight's gonna be good. Average. He said he wanted to see a rematch because Pitbull was young and fought on short notice while Tank injured his hand during the fight. So either was 100% right. That's my point. We'll answer our question. No, there's no questions. He was injured, and he still won. That's the thing. So you're right. It was on short notice, but Pitbull was not that young. I mean, he's young, but he's not. I mean, what? Yeah, like the fight was years ago. It was years ago, but it wasn't like 8 years ago. It was like 3 years ago or 2 years ago or something like that, right? When did he fight Tank? 3 years, not even 3 years. It was 2 years ago, because he fought him in December of 2021. We're in 2024. We're in August 2024. So we just started August. So not even 3 years ago. It was 2.5 years ago. So he wasn't that young. I mean, he's 26 now. He was 24 then. I mean, like I said, it was short notice. I will say that. And Tank did injure his hand. But I don't think that I don't think you could compare a short notice with injury. I mean, David Avanesian was short notice. Does anybody want to see that rematch with him and Boots? You know what I'm saying? David Avanesian was short notice too. So I mean, we'll see though. It'll be different if it was like short notice and it was a cerebral fighter. No disrespect to Eastside Pitbull Cruz. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch, but he does the same thing every time. He's one-dimensional, but it's good one-dimensional. He's great at that one dimension. He's very durable, and he's constant pressure, right? So he's not changing anything up. So when you say it was on short notice, that matters for a fighter that's like a cerebral tactician. It doesn't matter for somebody who does the same thing. They just do it they do it exceptionally well. That's what Pitbull does. He brings pressure, you know what I'm saying? That's why I like him, because, there's a saying, would you rather be a jack of all trades or a master of none? Pitbull he's a master of the one thing he does. So when I say he's one dimensional, I'm not saying it disrespectfully. I'm saying it in a complimentary way, but I'm also saying it to say that we're not going to pretend like he's something he's not. More time is not going to change his approach to the fight. Let's not make things up now. Doc with the bling on, looking like Flavor Flav, long low supporter was good. He said looking like Flavor Flav's long lost cousin. It's crazy. I always got the same 4 chains on, which ain't nothing new. Judging how Charles Martin's size experience trouble Jared Bacoli will prove to be a solid. Yeah, facts. And Charles Martin was on short notice too. Yeah, so speaking of short notice, Charles Martin was on a short notice too. Bacoli right, was it his right hand or right? I think it was his shoulder support. Was it his hand? I know it was right shoulder, right hand, something like that. It'll be the same thing again. People hasn't improved much. That's what I'm saying, Lobo. So now I'm not saying that. Like that's the point I'm saying. So I don't want people to think that I'm saying that Pitbull he's not worth it. No, I'm just saying that I think it'll be this. What do you think will change? The only thing that it will change is that Tank's hand will be healed. That's it. Like, so, and then when what's they say he was on his, I don't think that's on his bicycle, in my personal opinion. I think he was fighting off his back foot, and I think he was fighting slick. Like you said, he outboxed him. But to me, be on a bicycle saying like you running around the ring, I don't think he was running around the ring. You know, he was slipping and dodging punches and staying in the pocket sometimes. Of course, you're going back up, yeah. But to me, Rolly was kind of, well, even Rolly wasn't really running. He was just getting knocked around the ring by Esau Cruz. But like I said, it's not that I don't want to see it. It's that there's other fights that I would prioritize between the both of them. I mean, for the both of them over a Tank and Pitbull rematch. That's all I'm saying. But if it happened, I'll watch it. But yeah, I just don't think that's I mean, they're not even in the same division right now. Granted, they could be. It's only one division away, but they're not even in the same division. And Esau Pitbull Cruz the belt holder, assuming that he beats Rayo. So, no, I feel like the only incentive to fight Pitbull if I'm Tank again is if I'm going up to 140 to try to get a belt at 140 again, like he did against Mario Barrios, and that's when it's worth it. But other than that, it's not really. It don't really make sense, man. It's like people are saying they want Liam Parr versus Subriel Matias again. I wouldn't mind it, but there's so many other fights I would rather see. Like the fight. Some people think Subriel Matias and Liam Parr was close. I thought Liam Parr won definitively. It was a close fight, but I thought it was a close fight that Liam Parr won definitively. If it was a draw, that would have been a robbery. If it would have went any other way besides Liam Parr winning, it would have been a robbery. So why do I need to see that again? I don't need to see that again. But if it happened again, I'll watch it. But I don't need to see it again. Like the fights that I want to see again for a rematch are things that were a robbery, is controversial, or is very close. I wouldn't mind seeing Devin Haney and Lomachenko again. I don't think it was a robbery, but it was very close. Could have went either way. I personally had Lomachenko winning, but I could see how you would have a draw or have David Haney winning. I thought it was a very close fight that could have went either way. So I would like to see that rematch. I want to see Oshiki Foster and Robson Kasesa. I want to see that rematch because I feel like Oshiki Foster was robbed. So I want to see that rematch. I want to see Michaela Mayer versus Natasha Jonas because I feel like Michaela Mayer was robbed. You know what I'm saying? And so I want to see rematches of fights that were close. You know, even if it ended in a knockout, a stoppage that happened late, if it was still close, it was close throughout or have different moments, like even with Usyk and Tyson Fury. I think Usyk won. I think it could have went either way. I thought it was a close fight, but Usyk won. I want to see that rematch again. But even Beterbiev and Bivol. Right now, I want to see Beterbiev and Bivol twice, at least twice. But if Bivol goes in there and destroys him, I don't need to see it again. Same way Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. On paper, I was like, yeah, man, I want to see at least a trilogy. But after Terence Crawford did what he did to Errol Spence, why I need to see that again? Nah, Doc, you look worried for Tank? Okay. Yeah, here you go. I looked worried for Tank because Tank won. How does that even make sense? Yeah, you got it, Johnny. Yep. Tank got the power to do especially with two hands. Yeah. So if you there goes the emotional people, man. When you don't see eye to eye with them, or you have a different opinion, they know, oh, you're worried for Tank. Oh, okay. I'm worried for the guy who won with a broken hand. That makes sense. Because you watch boxing to see knockouts. It's called boxing, not knockout kings. You don't have to win by knockout. Nobody ever thought that Tank's fight was close. Does anybody in here think that Pitbull will beat Tank? I'll wait. Oh man. I guess I'm worried for Liam Parro too. That's why I don't want Subriel Matias. That's why I don't want the Subriel Matias and Liam Parro rematch, I guess. Yeah. I mean, if that makes sense to you. Oh man. Styled on him. Tank beat Isaac. I don't want to see Shakur and Artem Hunter Union fight again either. I guess I'm worried for Shakur. Yeah. I don't want to see Canelo and Munguia again either. I guess I'm worried for Canelo because Munguia might beat him that time. Yeah. I mean, if it makes sense to you, hey, if you like it, I love it. But yeah, man. So I'm thinking about all these, all the good fights this Saturday. Oh man, I personally believe Isak Pitbull Cruz versus Rayo Valenzuela is the best fight. I think they're all bangers though, but I would slightly lean towards Isak and Rayo, man. You know what I don't like, man? This is what I don't like, bro. And this is what's kind of making me go for Rayo Venezuela. It's nothing, you know, Pitbull is one of my favorite fighters to watch. But I have nothing. There's very few fighters I have something against or I dislike. Not really any, right? Unless they do something that's outlandish, like Ryan Garcia, you know, cheating and being racist and stuff like that. Then I won't rock with you. But if for the most part, I like boxing. So while I'm going for Pitbull because I like him more, I don't dislike Rayo. So, but what's making me kind of root for Rayo, man? I don't know if y'all been paying attention, man, but that just kind of gets on my nerves, bro. And sis. Like, they're trying to say that Rayo can't beat Pitbull because he's not Mexican enough. The man was born in Mexico, but he was raised in America. I just don't like when people attack somebody culturally. I just think that's cowardly. I think it's corny, and I think you're just uneducated and illogical. It's like I'm Jamaican, Nigerian, and American. I was born in America. My mom's Jamaican. My dad's Nigerian. I'm all three of those, you know what I'm saying? And that's me, you know what I'm saying? If you take out the American, I'm not me. You take out the Jamaican, I'm not me. You take out the Nigerian, I'm not me. You know what I'm saying? So to question somebody's culture or heritage is like, what household did you grow up in? If he grew up around his mom and his dad and or whoever his family, and he has a Mexican cultural upbringing, why does it matter if he lived in Guadalajara or he lived in Miami? Why does that matter? Why does it matter if he lived in Las Vegas or he lived in New York or if he lived in Tijuana? Like, why does that matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just feel like the comments that I see, like, oh, he's a fake Mexican. I just feel like people are so trash. I see that stuff all the time. You know, I hear that stuff all the time, and that just kind of it's nothing against Pitbull. Maybe Pitbull said, I don't know if Pitbull himself has said it. I'm just talking about people. I just feel like, bro, that's why boxing is so divisive, man. It's like, I feel like boxing and combat sports period, they have the most ignorant fans, dog. Like, just say that you like Pitbull and you want Pitbull to beat Rayo. Why do you have to disrespect Rayo or why do you have to diminish or question his heritage or wherever he's from, or, you know what I'm saying? I just think that's corny, man. I just think that's so corny. So that kind of makes me want to lean towards Rayo a little bit more. But I like Pitbull more, and I'm going for Pitbull. But it's like, bro, how you going to question, like, what you mean? Who made you the authoritarian on culture or heritage? Like, how you going to tell a man he ain't Mexican, bro? That's like somebody telling me, oh, I'm not Nigerian because I've never been in Nigeria. Or, like, yeah, I might not be as close to the roots as you are if you were born in Nigeria and raised in Nigeria. But whether I'm there or not, I'm still my father's son, and I have this blood in me, so I'm Nigerian, you know. I think that's I just think it's very corny, man. All this little nitpicking and stuff, man. People just be disrespectful. But like I said, I'm still going for Isak Pitbull Cruz. But that kind of makes me look forward to seeing Rayo, man. I hope he does well, though, man. I hope he does well, just so he could, you know, just so he can feel good about himself, man. Shout out to Rayo, though. Subaru better catch a flight if you want that rematch smoke. He's not the ace out of it. Yeah, you got to go to Australia, man. You got to go down under. You got to go to Aussie, man. You got to go, you know. But yeah, I just don't think everything needs a rematch. But I wouldn't mind a rematch. So like I said, well, any fight, like even Subaru and Liam Paro. Do I need to see it? No, I'd rather see Subaru Matias fight Gary Antoine Russell. They both coming off losses. Let them fight, and then maybe get in a position to fight for another championship. You know what I'm saying? Liam Paro, I'd rather see him fight the winner of Jack Catterall, Regis Prograis, which I think will be Jack Catterall. I'd rather see him fight Teofimo, try to unify. You know, there's so many other things. Like, I think people get caught up on stuff because, you know, I think was my boy Johnny said that I'm worried about Tank. I think that he desperately wants Tank to lose. You know, he's just projecting, or he's worried about Isak Pitbull Cruz getting blown out by somebody else and falling out of contention. I don't know, but don't project don't project your feelings on me, because I like boxing, man. So when Tank's done boxing, I'm still gonna like boxing. When Canelo's done boxing, I'm still gonna like boxing. So I don't really get caught up on that stuff. I really like the sport, so I never feel like, oh, I don't want this person to fight this person because he's gonna lose. Like, I want Tank versus Shakur. I think it's a great fight. Somebody has to lose. I like Tank more, but that's the best fight out there to make is Tank versus Shakur. And I think Tank would win, but if anybody's going to beat Tank, it's Shakur. So if I didn't want Tank to fight somebody, it would be Shakur. And then Canelo versus Benavidez. I like Canelo's one of my favorite fighters. Him and Tank are probably my two favorite fighters. I want Canelo to fight Benavidez. I'm not one of those people who, oh, that's my favorite fighter, so I want to protect him and hold him under my bosom. Like, what? What are we talking about, bro? We boxing fans or are we dating?
What do you mean by that?
we boxing fans or we dating? Of course I want Canelo to fight Benavidez because that's the best fight there, and I think Canelo would win. So I'm not one of those that, or if I like a fighter, I don't want them to fight the best competition. That's stupid. Like, I watch boxing for boxing. I don't like Tyson Fury because of the way he brushes his hair or the girls he's dating. Like, that's weirdo stuff to me. He said, hey, bro, why you got mad? Don't talk like that. My boy is normal when someone stands with this fighter. I'm not saying Pitbull will win. He said, I'm mad? Yo, Johnny. All right, Johnny. I don't like when people project, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He said, do I sound mad, chat? Yeah, I don't know, man. That's internet stuff, bro. I ain't got time for that. What flag would you use if you're competing, Nigerian or USA? I would use Jamaican. I would use Jamaica. If I was competing, I'd use Jamaica. Yeah, I don't think that I don't get down with that internet banter and stuff like that where you project your feelings. Like, you're emotional, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He'd have to get his shit to don that flag in the Olympic competition. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, if it's Olympic competition, it'll be America. But if it's if I'm just like my choice, I'd be Jamaica. I grew up with my mom, so I feel closer to my mom. To my mom's heritage. He said, but I just think it's stupid saying a fight like that ain't worth it. I never said it's not worth it. So I think you're stupid if that's what you heard, because I never said that it's not worth it. I said there's other fights that I would like to see before that. I never said it's not worth it. Now you're stupid because you're hearing what you want to hear and you're projecting your feelings on somebody else. So you're not even able to have the mental capacity to even interpret what I'm saying. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, then say that and I will repeat it for your slow ass. Don't try to tell me what I said. You're not mentally equipped to put words in my mouth. You see what I'm saying? You can't even express yourself effectively. So there's no way that you can express myself for me. So yeah, if all you heard was that I don't want to hear the fight, or I said it's not worth it again, I never said it's not worth it. That's not what I said. I said there's other fights I would like to see. So you got to work on expressing yourself before you can try to express somebody else. I'm very articulate and capable of expressing myself effectively, and I do it very well. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's a sign of somebody that's emotional. You can't use all the flags you rep. That's mean. Yo, my boy Kendrick in the building. He thinks it's stupid to say the fight's not worth it again. I never said that. So I think you're stupid for trying to put words in my mouth and and you're doing it erroneously. So if you want somebody to get mad, then I could get mad and we could talk. But yeah, so so I think that what was I talking about? Yeah, so I would rep I would rep Jamaica actually. But of course, I'd have Jamaica, Nigeria. I'll have all three: Jamaica, Nigeria, and America. I'm a citizen in America. Yeah, I'm a citizen in America, man. So, oh man, excuse me. He said, "Yeah, y'all better." Hey, I ate. All right, so my boy Kendrick here, man. So, you get, man. No, I hate when people I hate when people are emotional and they try to talk for you. You can't talk for me, bro. You don't have the mental capacity to enter in a debate with me or speak for me. You can't even express yourself. I do not like that, bro. If you don't know what I said, then ask me what I said and I'll repeat it for your slow ass. Don't try to put words in my mouth. I hate that, bro. Don't speak for me, bro. You're not educated enough. Because there's no way that you heard me say that Pitbull and Tank, that fight is not worth it. I said that there's other fights that I would like to see, and I even named the fights. So if you have selective hearing, then say that. If you have limited comprehension, then say that. Don't try to speak for me, bro. You did it 3 times. First you said I was mad when I wasn't mad. Then you said I was trying to protect Tank. How was I trying to protect Tank when I said there's other matches that are more dangerous than Aesop Pitbull Cruz? And then you tried to say that I said the fight's not worth it. None of those things I said. So this ain't the MLB, bro. Because if it was the MLB, you would have struck out already. So that's 3 strikes, you're out, bro. Don't do that, dog. I clicked. Did anybody else hear me say that the fight was bad? Did anybody ever hear me say that the fight's not worth it? Did anybody hear me say that I don't want Tank to fight the best? Who even if I didn't want to fight the best, who says Aesop Pitbull Cruz is the best? The dude he already beat. And I like Aesop Pitbull Cruz. I never said that. Man, take this 30 for crying. Not gonna lie, I might have to pull up to talk about that a little bit. Now, I don't know. I can't have you pull up because you gonna talk crazy. Gotta speak on the better options out there before we speak on a rematch. That's all, bro. That's all I said, Ty. That's all I said. I never said it was a bad. I even said the opposite of what he said. I said I'm okay with it. I would watch it. I said that there's other matchups I'd rather see that I would prioritize is the word that I used. Maybe you don't know what priority means. I don't know. I can't stand when people try to talk. You gonna listen to me, and I'm gonna listen to you. We gonna have a conversation, or we gonna have we can have a battle of wits too. And I don't think you're equipped for that. So and that's how rumors start, and miscommunication starts, and misunderstanding start. If you don't understand something, just ask me, bro, and I'll break it down again. But don't put words in my mouth, bro. I hate that with a passion. A lot of people try to do that, and that's annoying. I gave a whole 20-minute breakdown having a conversation with you, and you still misunderstood what I said. So there's no point in having a conversation with you. You're wasting my time. So we won't do that again. But he said, laugh at that. Yeah, you can't join because you gonna talk crazy. All right, so I think Pitbull versus Rayo is the best fight on the card. Like I said, Pitbull's one of my favorite fighters. I actually think that Pitbull's gonna win, but I could see him getting. I think Rayo has a lot of extra motivation to fight. Like I said, where the people questioning his culture. I think is so stupid is corny. Tried to get sassy, or on the way out. Yeah, I don't know. Wait, what did he say? He said something. What did he say? I didn't even see what he said. I don't even see his messages anymore. Man, take this 30 for crying. Oh, appreciate it, Ty. Oh, you gave him a 30. Oh, okay. I didn't even see what he said, to be honest. Yo, left hook, what's good? I just like conversation, bro. That's when we have conversation, man. But I don't like people try to dictate to the point where it's no longer a conversation when they already have they're asking a question or having a discussion with a predetermined response already. You don't know what I'm gonna say, bro. So you know what I'm talking about? We don't think on the same level. There's no way you can know what I'm about to say. There's no way. I appreciate that though. I didn't I didn't know you timed them out. You know, let me do the thing. My bad, bro. I didn't know you got timed out, Johnny, and I don't know how to untime out. So you got to hold that. You asked for it though. I didn't time you out. But shout out to Ty or whoever did. What up with it though, left hook? But yeah, I don't want to unless he says something like discriminatory or prejudice towards any type of gender or race or ethnicity. Well, we're all one race, we're human race, but or religion or gender, you know what I'm saying? Then don't time out somebody just because we're going back and forth. I don't mind that, you know. But you know, I don't mind that. Even if we get a little thing, I don't want to time anybody out for that. But I appreciate it though. I ain't mad at that one though. And I don't know what he said. So if he says something crazy, then yeah. So I didn't see what he said. So I believe it up to y'all discretion. But I appreciate it. But yeah, so okay, let's talk about this Olympic stuff, man. So this is my thoughts on this, man. I'll let you join too, Kendrick. I was just joking. So I've heard about the Olympic stuff, but I will be honest, I did not look into it. I didn't really feel like even utilizing my time that way. But I feel like I have the gist. But I do know that there's a lot of people saying a lot of things that they may not have all the information, and you know, I didn't gather all the information myself. And but I will say this though, you know, if people are he was leaving, so a system out there. Okay, appreciate it, Ty. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, if he said he's leaving, yeah, go ahead and help him. Appreciate it, bro. Nah, you ain't gotta explain nothing to me, bro. You're a mod because I trust y'all discretion. So I don't. That's one thing I don't like to do, bro. I don't like to give somebody something and then try to micromanage. Like you're a mod to help me manage. I'm not like if then it kind of defeats the purpose. If you time somebody out, then I have to go back and see why you time that defeats the purpose. That's just making it more work for me. You know what I'm saying? So now you ain't gotta explain yourself, you know. But yeah, if he said he's leaving, go and help him out the door. So I appreciate it. I don't need nobody that's emotional. You know, I was the one that was mad, but we had a disagreement, and he mad, and he's the one saying he's leaving. So I thought I was the one that was mad though, chat. It's funny how that works, right? I tell you about people projecting, man. But yeah, let me know when. I bet. So there's a fighter from, I believe, I don't want to lie, I think it was Algeria, right? I think they're from Algeria. And then the other person is, I want to say Chinese, but don't quote me. So they were apparently they are Taiwanese. Sorry, they're from Taiwan. So one's from Algeria, one's from Taiwan, and then so apparently they're fighting, but they may not be biologically a woman. And I saw people saying that they're transgender. I think that's an erroneous assessment. I don't think from the little bit that I've read, I didn't do extensive research, but I saw something saying that they're intergender, which I kind of know, so I'll be lying if I say I don't know what it is. I know what it is because I did my little research on it, but it was minimal research because I don't even like this conversation. I just feel like common sense should rule. And but yes, but they're not transgender though. Then they didn't go through a transition. I think that they're biologically, they may have been born a certain way, but I don't know if they're born, because for the article that I read said that they won't disclose their information. So when you don't disclose all the information, then you lead for conspiracies and people to guess and people to give rumors. So there's no telling if these people were born like this, the Taiwanese boxer and the Algerian boxer, or they are going through a transition, or they had some biological manipulation. I don't know. And frankly, I'm gonna be honest, and this might sound bad, but I don't care. I feel like if you're on an uneven playing field biologically, then by default, whether it was your choice or not, sports is voluntary. You do not have to play sports. You do not have to compete, and you definitely do not have to harm somebody. You do not have to do something that could potentially harm somebody else from you voluntarily participating. So when I say I'm all for equal rights. I don't care about people's religion. I don't care about your ethnicity. I don't care about your gender. I don't care about your nothing. You do what you want. You like who you like. You freak who you want to freak. You do. I don't think nobody should be discriminated as far as having their rights, pay, equal treatment, none of that stuff, voting, everything. But when it comes to things like your personal life choice should not negatively impact me. I look at plenty of booty. You know what I'm saying? I like all types of women. Me liking a woman has never hurt or harmed anybody. So you liking who you like or being who you want to be, me wanting to be who I am, isn't hurting anybody. You know what I'm saying? But when you want to choose to do something and then you want to voluntarily go and compete against somebody else who's at a disadvantage because of your personal choice, then that's wrong. So that's all I have to say about that. I don't know. I don't care if it's transgender, intergender, whatever it is, or I just don't care. Like so I did the little research that I did. It showed that the Algerian boxers, they have the XY chromosomes. And those of you that don't know what that means, when you have an XY chromosome, that's typical of a male. You know what I'm saying? That's a biology of a male. Let me look up her name real quick. I don't want to mess up. Their name is Khalif, right? So they have disclosed that, you know, an Italian boxer, her name is Carini. She withdrew after she got punched, right? And they said that Khalif has a pair of chromosomes that's typically possessed by men. Now you got to be very careful because it says typically. There are some people and some things that are atypical, and that doesn't mean that they are necessarily not what they are. So my point of saying that is that I don't know if this person, I don't think it's right to label them a transgender because from what I've read, they're not, you know. But I want to say that they're not disclosing that their full background or whatever. So I don't know if it's voluntary or something that they did, that they manipulated, or it's just how they are, you know. Because if it's atypical, a XY chromosome is typically of men, but it could be atypical and they could really be a woman. I think that they are a woman. So if they are a woman, then I think that they're doing the right thing by competing. However, the funny part is that they were disqualified from competition before because of this same thing, and they're not disclosing what they found. So that's why the IOC is kind of leaving all this extra wiggle room for assumptions and conspiracies. So what I'm saying, based off of all that gray area, then I think as fairness to the other women that passed these tests that were done previously by all participants, then I think that they should not be able to compete. That's just what it is. Unless you're going to disclose all the information and let people know what they're dealing with, let's be fair, because guess who disclosed all their information? The girl from Italy. She disclosed all her information, and she subscribed to the same test and abided by the rules and qualifications. But why with these two you don't want to release all the information? You want to say that it's confidential. You don't want to disclose that. That's where you so in my personal opinion, it's the committee's fault more so even than the participants. But do I think it's wrong? I think it's wrong. But like I said, now if they were born that way and things align to where they are female, they just have an atypical chromosome pairing, or they have an atypical biological makeup, but they still qualify as a woman elsewhere in every other place, then they should be able to compete fine. But when you don't release the information and you don't make it accessible, then you kind of lead all this. But people shouldn't speculate though, because just because there's a lot of quantity doesn't make quality. So just because a lot of people are outraged don't mean that they're outraged by the right thing. Case in point, remember I dropped that video right after doing my extensive research, and I told everybody, I said Ryan Garcia, his win will be overturned. There'll be a no contest. Go look at my video right now. Some people deleted their comments because there's some cowards. So everybody who went back that was talking trash to me and called me every name under God's green earth besides the Son of God, this is how I feel about them.
Nigga, you's a bitch!
Because some people went back and retracted their statements. But there were people calling me all types of crap, saying I'm dumb and all this stuff. I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. And then what happened, chat? A month later, however long it was, guess what happened? Ryan Garcia's ruling was overturned because I told them straight facts. I said, look, Keyshawn Davis, he tested positive on the night of the fight, and his wasn't even a PED. It was a banned substance, but it was not a performance enhancing drug. It was just a banned substance of marijuana in the state of Texas, and his ruling was overturned against Nahir Albright. So what makes you think that somebody who tested positive for Ostarine, a PED, wouldn't be overturned? And it was the same circumstances. And he was overturned, and some people deleted their comments instead of apologizing because they're cowards. You know what I'm saying? You know how that goes. But so I'm saying that there was some people on that video. They're like, man, thank you for releasing the information. This all makes sense. But the majority of the people were calling me all types of names and saying how dumb I am. So my point is that just because there's a quantity on one side doesn't mean that they're right, because all those people are wrong. So the people that are yelling right now and saying that, oh, this person is really a boy. I don't know if they're a boy. I don't know if they're male or female. I didn't do my due diligence. I looked up a little bit because I don't even, like I said, I don't want this to dictate the stream. I don't really like this. I think at the end of the day, if they are transgender, which from what I've seen they're not, I don't think that sports is the place for you to go through a transition. I don't, because you don't want to put somebody on an uneven playing field. That's the whole point about sports. The intrigue about sports is people are not that's the thing too. People have to realize that fair isn't equal. That does not mean equal. Like me and Kendrick will never be equal, but we can ensure that when we fight in boxing, it could be fair. By fair, meaning that we could come in and both weigh the same. To have the same weight limit. We could both be the same gender. We could both, I don't know, abide by the same test. But me and him will never be the same. So people confuse same with and fair and same, and even equal and same are not always synonymous. So the way to make it fair is that they are starting at the same baseline, which you both be a male or both be a female, and then you both be at the same weight class. Especially box, this is a hurt game, man. So you could choose to do whatever you want, but and live your life and be happy. But there's a time and place for everything, and your happiness or your pursuit of happiness should not cause harm to somebody else, because that's not cool. And we ain't gonna be no suckers. So, all right, let me catch up the chat. My boy Arnaldo in the building. Almighty in the building. Let's get right. Frontline in the building. So my boy Ty says she has a birth defect. Okay. Almighty says they have more testosterone than normal. Yeah, and see, and to me that doesn't classify you as a male or female. Maybe they're gender ambiguous, meaning they're born that way. What's up, the Crow? Yeah, but these days just gender ambiguity could be of choice too. So that's what I'm saying. But like once again, Crow, you had to say maybe. I don't know, but they're not disclosing. So I could read this to you right now. It says that Khalif was disqualified from the championships in 2023 after failing to meet eligibility requirements for the women's competition. So she failed to meet eligibility requirements. Doesn't say she's not a woman, just says she failed to meet the requirements, whatever those requirements are. And it says, noting that she is not subject to a testosterone exam and was instead put through a separate test that found she had competitive advantages over women. So see what my boy Almighty said? She had more testosterone than others. That's not true, because what this says right here, that just debunked that. It says that she was not subject to a testosterone exam and was instead put through a separate test that found she had a competitive advantage over women athletes. You see what I'm saying? But then if you read further, it also says that she had the XY chromosomes typically possessed of men. And then it says the two athletes were the victims of a sudden and arbitrary decision by the IBA. It was arbitrary. And then they're going to say, let me see what it says. Read it to you right here too. It says that after saying that it was arbitrary, it says the IBA, which is not recognized by the IOC, which is the International Olympic Committee, has said the specifics of the tests are confidential. You see how much gray area they're leaving. So that's why I say I blame the IOC for this. It's not, so sometimes we got to direct our anger in the appropriate place. I'm not saying that you can't fight the fight whatever you believe in, but I think to attack transgenders in this case, to label them as that, I think that's incorrect because they're not even disclosing. They're saying that's not the case, so I don't think that's right. But however, the overall theme is, I agree. I don't think transgender should whether you're a male transition into a female, I don't think you should then be able to compete against naturally born women. And if you're a woman transition to a male, I don't think you should be able to compete against naturally born men, even though that's not really much of an issue because, most likely you're still going to have the chemical makeup of a woman, biology of a woman. You're going to get dominated by the men, but it's an issue going from one to the other, going from male to female and then fighting and then competing against women because, you might punch on a woman and that's wrong. So let me see. The reason gay women look more massive is because they have. Hey, yo, Crow. That's a whole nother conversation, bro. What would that advantage be, though? I don't know. That's the thing, Almighty. I'm not gonna pretend like I know. You know me. I do my due diligence. I'm thorough. But I'm the first to tell you if I don't know something, I don't know. I don't try to pretend. But I see a lot of pretending going on, Almighty, and that's the problem. But because of things like this, like they're not just. I can show y'all. Hold on. Let me pull it up so y'all can see. So y'all don't think I'm just capping. Which I know y'all don't think I'm capping anyway. Shout out to y'all. But I just want to make sure that y'all know. Y'all know. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, you know. Oh, you know. That wasn't a straight up dude. That was a straight up dude. It's not okay in my book. I don't give how someone identifies. That's total BS. I agree, Frontline. But like I said, I don't want to label these as that because they're saying they're intergender, not transgender. And that's the difference. And like I said, I know these are fine details. And like I said, these are details that I don't even care about because at the end of the day, by hook or by crook, I think that if you're a woman, you should compete against women. If you're a man, you should compete against man. Everything else is your choice. And that's your business, how you live your life, how you everything, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to employment, when it comes to voting, when it comes to just being treated fairly. Then that's where we consider everything and we just treat humans how we want to be treated. But when it comes to competition, it is the duty and the responsibility of sanctioning bodies and those in an authoritative position to ensure the safety of the participants, which are the athletes. And when you're not ensuring the safety, when you're okaying advantages over others, biological advantage over others, then that's when that's not fair. It's literally not fair. So the inclusion of that on the basis of fairness is by default unfair. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not fair. So that's when just common sense should rule. Okay, they trying to hit y'all with the word salad to confuse y'all. Real ones know that's some. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know, bro. And you could be right, Kendrick, but that's once again, that's their fault. Because we have to be clear. This is the Pandora's box that we're opening as a society. Like I said, and people like the Johnny guy who heard after that whole spiel that I gave about Tank, how I would rather see Tank fight other people besides Pitbull. A person will come and they hear me saying this, what I'm saying right now, and say that I'm hating on men, or I'm hating on women, or I'm hating on transgenders, or I'm hating on homosexuals, or I'm hating on heterosexuals. That's not what I'm saying at all. Live your life, baby. I'm for you. If you do me personally, bro, I'll be down there marching for everybody's equality because that's not my position. I really feel like everybody should be treated fairly because in the Bible it says love your brother and your sister, and everything else is up to God. We're all sinners. We all just don't sin the same way. So however you sin, that's your business. You go out to answer the man upstairs, not me, baby. You ain't got to answer me. As long as you ain't coming to hurt me, I'm cool with it. Be happy, baby. Be happy, because I don't want nobody to stop my happiness. However, when your happiness is being used as a crutch or a handicap or an advantage over somebody else who didn't sign up for that. That's wrong. And I don't care. You call me whatever you want. That is wrong. And I'm going to stand on that. But let me show y'all what I'm reading from right now. But yeah, I have no disrespect to anybody, bro. No disrespect to anybody, man. You be happy, man. But I will stand on that. We talking about competition, man. This is competition. You sign up for it voluntarily. You don't have to do this. And y'all got it. Not rocking with the no. Ain't no phobia. Ain't no phobia, Almighty. Ain't no phobia, bro. Yeah, if things are confidential, shady as hell. Yeah, nah, ain't no phobia though. I'm missing some messages in the stream, so I don't know. But nah, I'm definitely not homophobic, heterophobic, transphobic. No phobia for me. Nah, but I do think that we do have to set a baseline when it comes to competition, because people can't get hurt. Like people get hurt when it's women on woman or man on man. So when you start crossing, especially if you're going from a man to a woman, they're gonna get hurt, bro. And that's the thing. But nah, it's not. I don't think we should label that. Well, like I said, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing some messages, but in my personal opinion, Almighty, I don't think that people should label a disagreement as a phobia. Like it's like kind of like that's the thing. Like, so I saw somebody say that this athlete, Khalif from Algeria, is getting bullied. No, the person that got bullied is the other athlete that they beat on. Now, that doesn't mean that people aren't attacking this person. Yes, and we should not attack people if we don't know the whole story. But part of the reason why we don't know the whole story is because the IOC and the IBA, they're not releasing it in its entirety, and that's unfair to Khalif, because so they are a victim of attention that is probably misdirected, so that's why we gotta make sure that we're going not to, okay, I appreciate it, Almighty, not me, okay, bet, appreciate it. Yeah, so we have to make sure. It's kind of like how I talk about, I know Canelo and Benavidez is nowhere near the severity of this, but it's kind of like what Canelo and Benavidez, right? Like how I say that, yeah, we get mad at Canelo for not fighting Benavidez, but we should get mad at the sanctioning bodies because they're not enforcing their mandatory. Same with here. We should be mad at the people that are permitting these things and not giving the full story. So let me show it. My fault. Yeah, we should be mad at this. And maybe there's updates since this came out as well. But I agree though. No, we don't tolerate any phobia around here, because I think everybody should be happy, man. Everybody has a right to be happiness, man. That's what life has a right to happiness. That's what life is about, But we shouldn't be please don't be throwing any hateful barbs at anybody, man. I don't care if you're a Christian, atheist, black, white, male, female, or somewhere in between. No, we can't. We could talk about topics without being discriminatory or hateful, And some people may say what I'm saying is discriminatory. I disagree with that emphatically, but whatever. I guess it is what it is. I can't find my. Hold on. Yeah, but please don't be. We don't want to be anti. But I do think you should stand 10 toes down, stand for what you believe in, and we shouldn't also, if you don't stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. That's a saying too. So we should also be aware of that as well. But I don't want to be, we just got to make sure we're talking about something for the betterment of things. All right, let's get right. Okay, so here, it's not a transphobia, to be honest. Trans people have their own games and fights and all that good stuff. Yeah. I to me, I think that's the. In my opinion, that would be the solution. I think that you should have. To be, that's why we have. So let's be fair, right? I think sometimes people pick and choose, right, and victimize themselves. I'm not saying that any group in particular. I'm saying in general, right? So, for example, we already have split gender competition: NBA, WNBA, women's boxing, male boxing, men's boxing, so on and so forth. So I think if you are your own gender and you're not a man and you're not a woman, then you should have your own league as well, and I think that'll solve it. So that way nobody feels like anything is unfair. But you got to understand that this lady right here, this Italian woman, she didn't sign up to box against people that aren't women. You know what I'm saying? So that is unfair to her and everybody else. So I actually applaud her for standing. I don't know what she said. Let me be careful when I say I applaud her. I applaud her for not competing, because that is unfair to her. You see what I'm saying? That's she's the one that's getting the worst of it. You know what I'm saying? because they didn't. If they knew, like for example, remember there was that girl in the UFC, I think it was UFC, and she knew that she was fighting a transgender woman, and she was okay with it. She signed off. Then hey, then there's nothing for me to say. If you okayed it, you okayed it. But this person didn't have that opportunity. You see what I'm saying? She just got matched up. So okay, so let's look. So it says Carini, this is Carini, Italian fighter, withdrew from the fight after being punched in the nose. She said she had never felt a punch like one of those strikes she sustained from killing. My bad, I didn't mean to laugh. I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of a bad. I don't know about that one. She said she got punched, and she said, God forgive me, bro. I'm sorry, I'm laughing, bro. Bro, hey, Almighty, she got punched, bro. She got punched one time and said,
damn. I'm sorry.
She said, no, I ain't signed up for this. I'm not going. She said, she got punched one time, bro. She got punched one time and said,
damn. I'm sorry.
God forgive, I'm sorry. Okay, that was funny. I'm sorry. Okay, let's get back to it. Hold on, let me chill. My bad. Okay, it's not funny. It's not funny. But come on, man. We gotta laugh about stuff like this. We gotta laugh. Yeah, no Diddy. We gotta laugh about stuff like that. We gotta laugh, man. We gotta find ways to laugh. That's what keeps us cool, calm, and collected. All right, let's go. All right. So. She said no. Hey, Savage. She said I got punched one time. I'm done. This ain't right. She said, I've been set up before. This is a setup. Okay, let's go. Okay, so it said the fight over women's sports who could compete in them erupted a new online. Whatever. Okay, boxer Angela Carini abruptly withdrew from her Olympic match against Algeria's Emaine Khalif. This is the person who's in question, Khalif. All right, Carini withdrew from the fight after he said she ain't never felt no punch like that. She said she ain't never get hit like that. It said Khalif was permitted to participate in this year's Olympics after being previously prohibited from the 2023 IBA, which is International Boxing Association's World Boxing Championships. So this is where it gets a little shaky, so she was already disqualified. We're gonna call her she because that's what they're saying, and right, until otherwise she's a she. I don't mind. Whatever you want to be called, that's what I'm gonna call you. I don't care about that. That's not my business. So Khalif was disqualified for the championships, and this is the part that's in question, Almighty. I'm not out of pocket, bro. That's funny. You said Khalif was disqualified for championship. Hey, Kendrick, bro, that's funny. Okay, Khalif was disqualified for championships after failing to meet eligibility requirements for the women's competition, right? She failed to meet the eligibility requirements. They did not disclose what the eligibility requirements are for the IBA World Boxing Championships. But I'm sure that if we dig deep enough, we could probably find it out. But like I said, I don't want to dedicate this much time to this because Olympics is something I want to enjoy, man. There's a lot of things in life that are drama filled, man. Sports shouldn't be one of them, in my opinion. So I don't even really get into this, but I do think it's important for us to cover it since we're a boxing channel and this is boxing. Okay. And the WNBA channel too. Which shout out to the USA Team USA, the women. They just beat Belgium today. That was a good game too. That was fire. I watched the whole thing. Shame on y'all if y'all ain't watch it, man. Shout out to Breonna Stewart. She led the game in points. Tighten up. Okay, the IBA said in a statement noting she was not. Look, this is the part right here. Almighty says Khalif was disqualified from the championships after failing to meet eligibility requirements for the world's women's competitions. For the women's competition, the IBA said in a statement, noting she was not subject to a testosterone exam. You see that? So it says, let's start from here again. Khalif was permitted to participate in this year's Olympics after previously being prohibited from the 2023 International Boxing Association's World Boxing Championships. Khalif was disqualified from the championships after failing to meet eligibility requirements for the women's competition, the IBA said in a statement, noting she was not subject to a testosterone exam and was instead put through a separate test that found she had competitive advantages over other women athletes. So that's the thing. It's not even just an atypical testosterone finding. It's something else. But they're not telling us what. You see? And then we go continue reading. The IBA, this is from Forbes, by the way, so very credible. It's not like I just pulled this a wacky joint up. The IBA, which is not recognized by the International Olympic Committee, once again, the IBA, which is the International Boxing Association, is not recognized by the International Olympic Committee, which is the IOC, has said the specifics of the test are confidential. What type of crap is that, bro? You see what I'm saying? So when they say it's confidential, that's saying I don't know, I don't know, Almighty don't know, Unicorn don't know, Ty don't know, and most importantly, she doesn't know. She doesn't know, and that's wrong, bruh. So she doesn't know who she's competing against. You see what I'm saying? So this is above, I ain't gonna say above, but this is even different than just your acceptance or your phobias, or you know what I'm saying? This is not this, like, that's like me going in a basketball game in high school and then I'm going against LeBron and I'm like, hold on, bro, that dude look like he's 30. Well, he could be 30, but we ain't gonna tell you. It's confidential. He could be 30 and be in the NBA and be a former MVP, but you just gonna have to trust us that he's really 16 like you in high school. Like, you see what I'm saying? That's not fair, bro. This whole thing is that right there is wrong. So it's not even about like what they are, what they're not. It's the fact that I should know when I'm signing up for something that I'm signing up against people that are comparable to me by age, gender, size. You know what I'm saying? That's like, bro. Anyway, let's keep reading. Khalif was disqualified. Okay, I read that already. So it says that she had competitive advantages over other women athletes. The IBA, which is not recognized by, I read that already, but let's read it again. The IBA, which is not recognized by the International Olympic Committee, the IOC, has said the specifics of the test are confidential through IBA President Umar Kremlev, alleged to Russian news agency TASS last year. Khalif. So it says they are confidential. Though IBA President Umar Kremlev alleged to Russian news agency TASS last year that Khalif had XY chromosomes, a pair of chromosomes typically possessed by men. So we know it's not testosterone that is saying that she is not a, I don't want to say not a woman. So let me choose my words carefully. So it's not the testosterone levels that are saying that she's not of typical biological specifics. I mean, biological characteristics that are specific to a woman. And so as we know, it's not testosterone, and we don't know what it is, but we do know she had a pair of chromosomes that are typically possessed by men. And that, like I said, it's typically. There's I'm sure there's women that have had XY chromosomes before, but it's just atypical. So that doesn't mean that they're necessarily not a woman either. So we have nothing concrete saying they're not a woman, or they are transitioning, or they're transgender, or we have nothing concrete yet. Okay, so let's keep reading. The International Olympic Committee stood by Khalif's inclusion, saying in a statement that did not explicitly name the boxer that two athletes were the victims of sudden and arbitrary decision by the IBA, meaning that the IOC is saying that the two athletes, which we are assuming is Khalif, right? And then the Taiwanese boxer, Lin Yu Ting, because they didn't disclose it for us, but they said that they are saying that they were victims of a sudden and arbitrary decision by the IBA. Why are they saying it's arbitrary and sudden? Because the IBA is saying that she did not, she failed to meet the eligibility requirements for the women's competition, but the specifics are confidential. So they have to say arbitrary because they don't even know what the tests are going about. Now, the thing about this is why I blame the IOC, because why didn't the IOC run their own tests? I'm assuming they did. So let's assume that the IOC did their own tests to make sure that everybody, not just for them, I'm talking about tests that and background checks that everybody has to abide and go through, right? So if you did your own, why doesn't the IOC release or disclose the tests that they went through in order to include them, in order to say like, okay, well, you know, we're the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, the International Olympic Committee, and we stood by Khalif's inclusion. So tell us why you stood by the inclusion of Khalif. Say, okay, the International Olympic Committee, we stood by our inclusion because we ran our own test and we saw that it was just an atypical testosterone finding, like Almighty suggested, or it was just an atypical XY chromosome that happens sometimes. Maybe it's one in every 10 million women have this. You know what I'm saying? Give us something. But when you just have this gray area, that leads people to go ahead and make Twitter posts and make YouTube videos and come to their own conclusions. So they're not helping the situation. And then you want to come here and go down here with the sob story, which is true. I'm not minimizing Carini, the Italian boxer who got punched, but I said sob story because people are gonna jump on this, but said Karini, who cried after the match, said she would not pass judgment on the matter of her opponent's eligibility, according to the Associated Press, which is AP, adding it is not up to her to decide whether Khalif should be fighting or not. So shout out to her. She took the high road. She just said, "Hey man, that punch ain't feel like no woman." She said, "Hey," she got hit in the nose and said, "Damn." Bro, I'm sorry, I'm laughing. God forgive me, bro. That is the fun, bro. Come on, man. That's funny, bro. I don't care. Forget y'all. That's funny. It said the International Olympic Committee stood by. Why can't I say committee today? I keep saying committee. The International Olympic Committee stood by Khalif's inclusion, saying in a statement that did not explicitly name the boxer that two athletes were the victims of a sudden and arbitrary decision by the IBA, likely referencing Khalif and fellow boxer Lin Yu Ting of Taiwan, so an Algerian boxer and a Taiwanese boxer. And Karini, who cried after the match, said that she would not pass judgment on the matter of her opponent's eligibility, according to the AP, adding it is not up to her to decide whether Khalif should be fighting or not. Okay, it says the match's outcome and Khalif's background provoked criticism against the Algerian boxer, including scrutiny from Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, which is rightfully so and natural, who said athletes who have male genetic characteristics should not be admitted to women's competitions, according to Sky News, noting the prohibition should be done not to discriminate against anyone, but to protect the right of female athletes to be able to compete on equal terms, which is what I said. That's what I'm saying. It's not about, he said, women getting punched in the face by men ain't cool. It's not cool at all, bro. But this line ain't funny, bro. She said Karini withdrew from the fight after being punched in the nose. God, bro, I gotta play it again, bro. Hey, Doc in the building. My boy Doc in the building. Hey, she got hit one time. She got hit one time and said,
Damn.
She said, "Nah."
I'm sorry.
She said, "Nah, damn this." She threw her headgear on, or they'll wear headgear now. But she threw her gloves. She said, "Nah, I'm not going. I ain't got time. I ain't signed up for this." She got it. She said, "No." She said, "No, I ain't never fight a bear, but that's a bear." Yo, Just, what's good, brethren? My boy in the building, what's good? Oh man, I think that's so funny, bro. I'm sorry, bro. It's wrong. I'm not laughing that she got hit. I'm laughing at the reaction and the way that it was talked about. So don't try to make it seem like, I thank God we don't have 1,000 viewers yet. Because if I laughed about that, people would make a clip and say, "Oh, I'm laughing at a girl getting punched by a dude." No, that's not what I'm laughing at. I'm laughing at the way that it was expressed. That's funny, bro. She had a plan until she got punched in the face. Facts. Because they didn't go through any test. I agree. I don't think they went through any test. That's why I think they're not. See what Doc Capar said? He said that they didn't go through any test, and I agree with that 1,000%. And you know what's crazy? And look, this is not to get. I mean, this is my channel. We can do what we want until they tell us we can't, right? Until YouTube platform stops us. But if you look at the stuff surrounding the Olympics, right, with that whole mockery of the Last Supper and stuff like that, I mean, you do what you want. Like I said, I try to watch sports, and people express themselves how they want, man. I disagree with it, but that's between them and God, man. We all gonna find out one day, or one way or another. And if I'm right, then I'm good. And if I'm wrong, then we still gonna go to the same place. But if I'm right, then you gonna be messed up, because I ain't going where you going. Where you going is hot. Where you going is hot. You know what I'm talking about? So I just pray I repent every day. You feel me? So I don't end up there too. But my point is that if you couple that with what we saw during the opening ceremony, and then you have this now, and then consider that they didn't do any tests, bro, it's not a good look, man. So like I said, it's not a good look, man. And who's really the victim? I mean, people. I'm not saying the Khalif and them, because I don't know what they are. They did not disclose it. It's confidential, which is leading to more conspiracies. But I want to be very clear, because I saw people say that, oh, the two athletes are getting bullied. No, the person who got bullied was the girl that got punched in the nose, and she walked off the stadium. The person that got bullied was the person that got punched and said,
Damn. I'm sorry.
She said, "I'm not going." That's the person who got bullied. The person who got bullied was a person that got hit one time, who's a professional, well, not professional, amateur, but an amateur at the highest world-class international level. The person that got, after getting punched, I'm pretty sure she got punched 1,000,000 times. She got punched one time and said, "Nah, I'm done." I'm about to go pick up piano. I'm about to go back to school and be a dentist. That's the person who got bullied, literally and figuratively. So she said, "No, I'm not going, bro." Well, like I said, she said, "Such a danger." She ate that. The Italian girl, the Olympics had the same facial expression and all the uncle aunties. That's crazy. But see, now you wildin'. You wildin'. What we get? Yeah. So I like I said, that was some bull. He said, "Talk normal." We ain't, I appreciate it, yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah, you ain't scared because they ain't gonna cancel you. They gonna cancel me. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, this has nothing to do with hate, man. This is about. So in my opinion, when you talk about fairness and equality, you should be for the separation of people that have biological identities to that's comparable. That puts you, that classifies you as a certain gender type, because these gender exclusions is a form of an effort to increase equality and fairness. You see how that works? So like in sports, this is not society, bro. We have to know how to separate things. Of course, in society, when it comes to getting jobs, when it comes to voting, when it comes to pay, when it comes to treatment, we want everybody to be the same and be treated equal. At least I do. I can't speak for everybody else, but I do. Like, what somebody does is their business. I don't care if you want to identify as a male or a woman or whatever you want. That's your business. It has nothing to do with me. Pursue your happiness. But when it comes to sports, when we separate things, the point of separating things is an effort to accomplish fairness and equality. That's why we don't have LeBron going against Candace Parker. That's why we don't have Mike Tyson going against Clarissa Shields. That's why we don't have Michael Phelps swimming against Ledecky. I could go on. That's why we don't have Serena Williams playing tennis against Roger Federer. Because if we did mix them like that, then that would be unfair. So from that standpoint, this is not about phobia. This is not about hate. This is actually about love and embracing, giving people like Karini, who got socked in her nose and quit same day, same minute, giving her a chance to be great, because that's what you're doing. Your happiness is impeding somebody else's success or dreams or goals or what they worked hard for. That's not fair. That's literally not fair. So that's the whole point. They them punch the ambition. hey, he said they punched the ambition out of her.
Me blood clot.
Bro, nah, bro, y'all gotta stop, bro. Y'all gotta chill, bro. Oh man, I'm sweating, bro. Bro, she got punched one time and said,
Damn! I'm sorry.
Bro, oh my gosh. Bro. What do you think about Clarissa's comment? I didn't see, but I heard, I saw one of Clarissa's comments and she called him, like I said, I didn't see the whole thing. First of all, I salute anybody who stands up for what they believe in, and especially if it's something I agree. So I agree. Well, what comment are you talking about? So I saw when she said the comment that transgender women or men should not compete against naturally born women or men. I agree with that, but I think that was misdirected, because once again, I don't know what these people, what the Algerian boxer Khalif is. I don't know what the Taiwanese boxer Yu Ting is. So I don't know if that's a fair assessment when it comes to this. That's my point. You know what I'm saying? So I know from what I'm reading, from what I just read to you all, what I just gathered, they are, whatever they are or they are not a naturally, I'm not gonna say naturally born. They do not have the genetic makeup or characteristics that are comparable of a naturally born woman. So by that alone, it's unfair. I don't need to know anything else. I don't need to know what they ate for breakfast. I don't need to know what they identify as. I don't know what they need to know about the transition. I don't need to know none of that. I just need to know that if they read tests, and the tests are there to ensure fairness, and they're saying it's unfair, then it's unfair. That's all. I don't need to know about, like, that's what I'm saying. I think certain things, we include our own feelings in the stuff that it's not necessary. I don't even need to go that far. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to know that. All I need to know is that last time they got tested, they said, you can't compete against them. You know what I'm saying? So, but nobody is disclosing anything. The IOC is not disclosing their tests or their procedures. The IBA is not. They're just saying what they didn't do. They said it's not a testosterone. They said it's not a typical or adverse testosterone finding. They're saying it's not that. They're saying it's something else, but they're not disclosing what that something else is. And they're also saying that they had an XY chromosome, which is typical of men. But like I said, just because something's typical don't mean that you can't be atypical. You see what I'm saying? Atypical meaning not typical, meaning that, you know, something that doesn't. Hell, if you want to talk about testosterone, Artur Beterbiev, he had an atypical. I'm just showing you how something being atypical works. Just because you're atypical don't mean you're necessarily wrong. So Artur Beterbiev, when he fought Callum Smith, he had an atypical testosterone reading, right? But just because it was atypical, it did not exceed the threshold to imply that he was cheating. So when Eddie Hearn came out and said that, that's why he almost had to go to court, because they should not have disclosed it just because it was atypical. Because atypical just means that it's not typical, it's not normal. It doesn't mean necessarily that you're cheating or it's too much or excessive or exceeds a certain threshold that's allowable. It just means that it's, hey, this is different than normal. So when Eddie Hearn and Callum Smith's team came out and said, hey, you know, we saw a typical finding, that implied that Artur Beterbiev was cheating, but it wasn't. So because this is an atypical finding, just because this person has XY chromosomes that are typical of men does not mean that they are indeed a man. So you got to look at the language and get out your feelings and analyze it and absorb it objectively. However, being objective as I am being right now, as we are being right now collectively, we can see that this shit ain't right. We can see off the testimony of Karidi, who got punched in the nose and said, I'm done. We can see also from their saying that they found something else that's confidential, and we know it wasn't atypical testosterone, and we know that they had chromosomes that were typical of a man. We know that their biological makeup is not compatible, is not comparable with that of a normal woman. And if you're not a normal woman from a biological standpoint, not from a preference standpoint, not from a sexuality standpoint, not from a clothing standpoint, not from none of that, from a chemical, from a biological makeup standpoint, if you're not a normal woman, then you do not need to be competing against normal women. That's it. We don't need to know anything else. Justin in the building, what's good? That's it, bro. It's not hard. He said, I did 3 5-minute rounds of Muay Thai, went good. I have to lift tomorrow, but necessary put. Hey, let's get right, Daniel. My boy Daniel in the building, man. Keep it up, bro. I appreciate the update too, man. Keep it going, man. Keep it going, man. Let's get right. I love to hear that, man. Appreciate you coming through and dropping the update. Yes, sir. But yeah, like I said, with Clarissa Shields, I'm not sure what she said. It did say I saw some of it, and like I said, I agreed with something she said. But like I said, I think that energy is kind of misguided, because we can't not just assume. It's kind of like what I said about Valenzuela, right? It's kind of like what I said about Rayo Valenzuela against Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Like, I know it's something different, but like when people are saying, like, I got Pitbull, but when I see people say stuff like, oh, he's not a real Mexican, how you gonna tell somebody what he really is? Like I said, like when you are of a culture or a heritage, how dare somebody tell me what I am or what I ain't? So his parents are Mexican. He was born in Mexico, but he was raised in, like, I don't know, let's say Ohio or something. I think he was raised in like Washington or something. But who cares? If his parents are Mexican, his blood flowed through from his father or his mother's Mexican, he's Mexican. So how dare you try to say, oh, he's not a real Mexican, man. He got to prove himself. Isaac Pitbull Cruz is a real Mexican because he wasn't raised in Tijuana or he wasn't raised in Guadalajara. I don't care, bro. You know, I feel like that's disrespectful. I feel like it's so unnecessary. Like that kind of makes me kind of root. Kind of makes me want to root for Rayo Valenzuela. Not just off the standpoint of that, man. Like, you know, I'm Nigerian, Jamaican, and American. My mom's Jamaican. My dad's Nigerian. I was born in America. You can't tell me I'm none of those things. Like, if you take away Nigerian, I'm not me. If you take out the Jamaican, I'm not me. If you take out the American, I'm not me. You see what I'm saying? I don't have to be in Nigeria to be Nigerian. I don't have to spend half of my life in Jamaica to be Jamaican. I don't have to spend 5 years in America to be American. That's what I am. So how dare you try to take it away from me? So my point, the point I'm making with that is that Khalif, I don't know how she was born. I don't know the circumstances of which, but the way that they're giving us the information, it's allowing us to assume a lot of things. It's a lot of gray areas. So it's giving us a lot of room to bring up conspiracy theories, to make assumptions, to give guesses, you know, and that's why I said it's the International Olympic Committee's fault more than anybody. because they're not disclosing the information. They're not letting us know the procedure that they underwent to persuade them to make the decision to include these two boxers. So I don't know what's going on, but I think it is wrong for us to say, oh, they're transgender. I don't know that. That's what it sounds like, but I don't know that. So I think that's wrong. I gotta be fair. I don't think that's right. But at the end of the day, from what I just read to y'all, that sounds like they shouldn't be competing with women of the same biochemical makeup as Carini, who was an Italian boxer that got hit one time and said, she got hit one time in the nose and said,
Damn. I'm sorry.
oh man. She could have Suarez syndrome, which would explain the chromosome situation, but why would that not just that's my point, Kendrick. That's my point. So once again, I agree. There's so many other. So I'm glad that you know that, because I didn't know what it was called, but I've heard of that before. Remember the track star from was she was South African? I believe she was from South Africa. Or was she from? Dang, was she from South Africa or Cameroon? I don't remember. But remember, she was really a woman. I can't remember her name right now, but she was really a woman. She just had atypical findings and stuff like that, born with a high level, but she wasn't transgender. So for us to assume what these people are because of them having atypical findings, that's not our fault. I mean, that's not right either. But what is also not right is that it should be a level playing field. I think you gotta adjust to the part where we can list the expectations of the power of women. That don't sound PC these days. What you mean? I think you gotta adjust to the part where we can limit the expectations of the power of women. What you in regards to what? They should have a trans division box that'll fight each other. But see, that's the thing, Smoothie. I don't know if these people are trans or not. I don't know. South Africa, okay, appreciate it. Yeah, South Africa, right. So she wasn't transgender, but was it unfair? Yeah, you could argue that was unfair. So I don't think we should mix the two, is what I'm saying. Every fight is not the same fight, is what I'm saying. I think that's kind of irresponsible to assume. I know that's what it sounds like. That's what it seems like. But I think that's kind of irresponsible. I'm not defending nobody. Like I said, off rip, I do not think, from what I just read, those two people, if this is true, I don't think they should be competing against people who have the chemical makeup of a woman. It doesn't sound like they should, but I'm not gonna assume what they are, what they went through, or what they're transitioning to. I can't. That's irresponsible too, and that's not fair. So that's all I'm saying. But what you talking about? If you too strong, you're laughing, but serious. Yeah, I agree. But that's how we are now, because we know about so much surgeries. Not even just like transition surgery, but even like BBL surgeries. And you got to, if Oscar De La Hoya just got a new 6-pack, they talk about he got surgery for the 6-pack. they got surgery that increases your height. So because of the times that we're in, it's not unfair. And well, it's unfair. It's not. It's just because of the times that we're in. It's not outrageous and illogical or even irrational to question these things. But I do think we have to keep our humanity, and we cannot assume based off of emotion, man. We have to try to be. That's what being an adult is, man. An adult is about being articulate, expressing yourself, absorbing information, seeking information, analyzing information, bro. It's not just going off of what you feel, and you're a child. That's what children do. They go off what they feel, and they say. Don't you ever see the show kids say the darndest things? It's not that when you're an adult you stop thinking those crazy things. You might see somebody and think some crazy stuff, but a kid will say it. As an adult, you have to have discretion. You have to have composure, and you have to have a conscience, and you know what I'm saying. You act accordingly, man. You know what I'm saying? You put a filter on, you know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, we live in a day and age where it ain't about being right. It's about being first, and it's not about being thoughtful or considerate or compassionate. It's about just trying to be as outrageous as you can to get a like. So, can't blame people after the opening. Yeah, I agree with that. But I said that earlier too, Kendrick. I said you can't blame them, because this is after that opening ceremony, and then you combine it with this. Yeah, bro, it looks bad. It looks bad. But I agree with Smoochie, what Smoochie said, but I just don't think I agree with you. I mean, I said that in the video when the USA boxing came out with the trans stuff before. I said that in the video. I made a video dedicated to that. I think that was before I knew you, though, Smoochie. You go look it up. I made a USA boxing video, and I was talking about that stuff. And I see that that would be the best, most optimal solution is to make a separate division. But like I said, once again, we cannot just merge conflicts, man. We cannot just say, like I said, if you ask me to put money on it, I would say Smoochie is right and I would say Kendrick is right. I would say that they are. But I don't know that, man. I don't like to assume because I don't like when people do that to me. I hate that. I do not like when people act like you know something you don't. And from what I read, there's nothing that says definitively what they are or what they're not. But the fact that they're being so the gray area, I think that the appropriate place to place the blame is the International Olympic Committee. The International Olympic Committee, because they're not disclosing. And same with the International Boxing Association, because they're not disclosing the tests that they made them undergo, the tests that they administered, the procedure that they underwent. They're not disclosing none of that stuff. So it leads for people to speculate and theorize and throw in, and conspire, So yeah. Can we discuss the opening ceremony? What happened? Yeah, I ain't even see it. Yeah, we can discuss it though. Why is it all of a sudden okay for men to beat up women because they wear? Hey, yo. What's good, Adam? What you talking about, bro? Yeah, I watched one fight. It really just didn't sit right with me. I want to see who they lose to be honest. Yeah. Also, the opening ceremony. So they made a mockery. I didn't watch the whole thing. I've only been watching, like I watched US. Shout out to Team USA, man. They just beat Belgium. The women's basketball, I watched that. So I watched that today. I watched some boxing matches. I watched the men's USA basketball team beat South Sudan. Shout out to South Sudan as well. The opening ceremony I missed, but I saw some of it, some clips, and it was a mockery. They could act like it's not, but it was a mockery of the Last Supper. It had a person dressed up in and a lot of people dressed up in drag, looking like Oscar de la Fishnets. And my bad, Oscar, my bad. That was a low blow. But look out there looking like Oscar de la Fishnets, and they were like making a mockery of the whole. So why you asked me what happened? Oh, you just. Oh, my bad. I thought. Okay, I see a period there. You saw the whole thing. Okay. Oh yeah, y'all can join then. Yeah, come on, Kendrick, you can join, and Doc, you can join. Okay, yeah, you saw it. My bad. Yeah, I don't, but see, and this is the wrong time for the controversy. So that's what I'm saying. The International Olympic Committee, they're the people. You have that coupled with this controversy now. Of course, people are going to assume that. So it's their fault, But like I said, I just try to be hesitant and respectful. I try to be respectful, and I'm hesitant to place the blame on. I'm hesitant to assess an identity on those that I don't know. I don't want to do that. But like I said, what I will say, and I'll say it again with no problem, I do not think trans men or trans women should compete against women or men. I think that they should have their own league, because that's what makes it fair. That's the whole point of not having LeBron go against Candace Parker. That's why we separate males from females. So separation is not always an act of division. It's actually an act of inclusion, to include people so they can shine too and demonstrate their greatness in their respective fields on an even playing field. So when it comes to sports, it's not society. Society, we want inclusion on everything. We want equal pay, equal voting, equal rights, all that stuff. And that's right. That's what we should have. But when it comes to sports, the act of exclusion and separation, not exclusion, but separation is actually, contrary to what you might think, is actually an effort for equality and fairness, because you're separating the men from the women and the women from the men, or however you identify. If you want to be a trans woman or a trans woman, if you're a trans woman or a trans man, then that way we can make sure that you are competing with people that are like you chemically, biochemically, biologically, and you could have a fair chance of succeeding and demonstrating your greatness in your respective field on an even playing field. So when you start mixing it up, that's actually an act of inequality. I can break that down for you again if you need me to. So that's the thing. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm a proponent for any type of phobia. No, you live how you want to live your life. That's not my business, man. I believe in God. I believe we all sin, and in the same Bible, when it tells me the list of sins, it also tells me Ye who has not sinned, cast the first stone. I'm in no position to cast a stone on anybody. I could tell you what I think about the situation. I could try to correct you and direct you and tell you, hey, this is what this says. And if you want to abide by that, that's your business. I'm not going to force nothing down your throat. You ain't got to answer to me. I'm no authoritarian on a lifestyle. I'm no authoritarian on words. You can say whatever you want, do whatever you want. You got to answer them. Same person I got to answer to. So I'm not in that. I do not like judging people, man. I can tell you what I think. I can tell you, you know what I'm saying, that I think this is wrong. And I can tell you why. I can tell you what I believe in and how I think things should go. But as far as me, I'm nobody's judge, jury, or nothing, none of that. So I'm not telling people how to live, but I will stand 10 toes down on I will stand 10 toes down on the fact that sports should have separation to ensure fairness. Your current argument is why I don't see a problem with the opening ceremony. Everyone doesn't see that art piece as a holy grail. No. So that's what I said. I look past it. You know what I'm saying? I look past it. However, it was a mockery. So whether it's a problem or not, it's like, okay. So let me give you another example. It's like it's like Scary Movie, right? Scary Movie. You know the with the Wayans brothers and stuff. Scary Movie is a mockery of Scream. It's a mockery of all scary movies. Whether you're offended by it or not, that's your business. But it is a mockery. That don't change what it is. It's a parody. It's a mockery. So they're definitely mocking it. But if you wanna get offended by it, that's up to you. You know, I chose as you know me personally, so you know how religious I am and how much I believe in, you know, the man upstairs. But you do what you want. I'm not a believer in controlling people. You do what you want. Now, if I decide not to subscribe to it, then that's me. You know, it's like the end. I mean, like I said, you know me. I stopped watching the NFL with Colin Kaepernick. I never told you not to watch the NFL because you my boy. Nah, you watch the NFL if you want to watch it. For me personally, what they did to Colin Kaepernick offended me enough for me not to indulge. I would never tell nobody else not to watch it. Nah, you make your choice. But that was enough for me. So I'm not a fan of telling people what to do because I think something's right or wrong. Did it sit well with me? No, I didn't like it. But did it offend me enough to where I'm not going to watch the Olympics? No, I'm still going to watch the Olympics because I don't watch the Olympics to intake anything religious. You know what I'm saying? That's not why I watch the Olympics. I watch the Olympics for competition. I don't watch the Olympics to get my daily dose of Christianity. You see what I'm saying? So whatever they do or don't do, that's on them. And if they do something that I find very, very offensive, extremely offensive, then I probably won't watch it again. You know, but hey, I mean, people are disrespectful these days. I feel like it was disrespectful. I can say that. I feel like it was a mockery. I can say that. But I don't expect anything less of people, in my opinion. Your courage. So yeah, I agree with you. But I do think it was a gesture that was disrespectful because they could have did, you know, you could do anything, you know. I do feel like it was disrespectful. Bears got first pick, best quarterback, and the second pick was the kicker. Yeah, they're showing the preseason Bears 0-10, 0 Texas 10. I started doing something. Can't join the I bet. USA got beat up first round. What you talking about? I wonder if you could beat a domestic violence case by saying you identify. I don't know, bro. Oh, preseason all be obsolete. He just made a good 20-yard pass. You see? But yeah, I just think I think people can be offended by it though. You know, I think some people should. You know, but I don't think that's not. I don't know. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'll be honest too. Sometimes I pray that like maybe I'm too accepting. You know, and I'm too. Maybe I do let things go too much. I be praying on that too. Like, you know, because I definitely don't want to offend my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You know, I definitely don't want to offend God. But I know that he don't want me to judge, and sometimes it's just, you know, I can say, nah, that ain't good. You know, I feel like I can get my point across without making somebody feel like being condescending or diminishing them, you know. And I will stand on stuff too, but gymnasts get one warm-up before the Olympics, football players get 10 games. Hey, shout out to Simone Biles, man. Simone Biles is she the first ever to get gold in the all-around twice? I know she got it in Rio, and then she competed against the other person that got it in Tokyo or 2020 Olympics, and she got it in Rio and Brazil in 2016. Shout out to her. I'm joking, but the time we in, I do, bro. I know you joking, Justin, but I don't know. You could be right, bro. Who knows, bro? We just see some crazy stuff, bro. Bro, Justin. I don't remember what year it was, so that's why I'm kind of pausing. But Bruce Jenner or Caitlyn Jenner, I don't know. Like sometimes they're Bruce, sometimes they're Kate. They literally pick. So I don't know what they are right now. But they won Woman of the Year. So a man won Woman of the Year without removing, without adding titties, without cutting off their meat. You know, they still won. You know, so that's the times we living in. So yeah, no, you could be right. Just I don't know. The times we living in, man. A man literally won Woman of the Year. But that's what we do. We disrespect groups that can't speak for, or not that they can't, you know, but like, yeah, we disrespect groups that aren't in a place of power. Let me say that, because we can all speak for ourselves. You know, black folks can speak for themselves, Hispanics can speak for themselves, males can speak for themselves, females can speak for themselves, but females don't get respected as much as males. You know, even James Brown said it, rest in peace. It's a man's world, right? So it's a man's world, and you know, we disrespect those that aren't in a place of power, kind of like my boy Doc was saying earlier. So yeah, I think we disrespect those that we could get away with it, and I think like that was disrespectful. There's so many the women that could have got 3-time Olympic gold is history, I think. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get it, Simone Biles, man. Yeah, just that. No other girl can do a double pike 2 times. Talk to him. But yeah, so just, yeah, you joking. We joke about it. Of course, we gotta find ways to laugh and make, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I want to be very clear. I wasn't laughing at that girl getting hit. I was just laughing at the way that it was told. The story was funny. But that's not funny. You know, the situation's not funny. But you got to find stuff to laugh at, man, and be able to make a joke out of, or you gonna go crazy. So I'm glad I was able to laugh at that. But I think that's wicked, though. I think that, you know, you should, the fact that they didn't disclose the test that they all went through, that's shaky right there. I should know if I'm going to fight Daniel. Not even fight. It don't have to be boxing. It don't have to be boxing. If I'm going to play against Daniel in one-on-one, or if I'm running a track meet, you know, if I'm running track meet, age 20 to 22, I'm just making up an age bracket. I'm running men's track meet, age 20 to 22, with a 1/4-inch spikes on my cleats. I should know that Daniel is between 20 and 22, is also a male like me, and has a 1/4-inch spikes on his cleats. I shouldn't have to go and check and wonder, oh, Ron, oh no, Daniel might have 1-inch spike. I'm not saying that that's advantageous to have 1-inch long spikes on your cleats. I'm just throwing out numbers. I shouldn't have to go in as Daniel for a birth certificate, make sure he's not 32 or 16. I shouldn't have to worry about going to see how long his spikes are. That's not my job. I'm just competing. You see what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to worry about to see if he's really a boy or not. That's not my job. You know, that's the people, that's the administratives. That's the job description of the administrative people, you know, the administrative board, or whatever you want to call it, the people that make the decisions for the inclusion or the exclusion of others to ensure safety and fairness. So yeah, I do think that we got to be careful how we attack things and people, or put under an umbrella. But like I said, when you put all things together, then it does seem fishy. And I didn't even want to stay that long on the gosh dang Olympic stuff. But I knew that was gonna be a long conversation. It was a good conversation though, man. So hopefully, you know, shout out to my boy Almighty, man. I want this place to be a place where we can have discussion. Shout out to everybody that participated in the discussion as well. But this is not to be a proponent of hate. Definitely against that. Definitely against anything. But we talk about sports. We not talk about your lifestyle. We not talk about what you wanna. What you feel that you are, what you identify as, or what makes you happy, or who you want to sleep with. We're not talking about that stuff, or what you believe in. We're talking about competition, and competition it's one of the few things in life that are very simple. It's very black and white. Either you fit the description or you don't. You fit the description, you in. You don't fit the description, you out. That's it. It's sports. These are sports. So. And for those people that want to say something dumb like, oh well, they were segregated before, and you know, and blacks couldn't compete with whites, and whites could compete with Asians, and Asians could compete with Hispanics. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing, because your color of your skin, the complexion of your skin, the melanin level of your skin does not change your genetic makeup as far as your biochemistry goes, as far as what you identify as biologically. So that's where it's different. That's just how, and everything else is just a feature of your appearance. And of course, you say, well, if you're a black person, you might have this in your biology. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what determines your reproductive organs. You know what I'm saying? Which is, directly related to what you is or you ain't.
Speaking of which, I just downloaded a new one this week. It was pretty cool. It's called Bit Bible. It forces me to read the Bible every time.
What up, world? We are back. Fight Towns, man.
I just saw your message. Love that chat. Give me a second. I'm sending this text message. Excuse me. PADHD kicked in. Bro. Bro, did I say anything that people disagree with? I want to know what's the pulse? What's the pulse, man? Y'all disagree with what I say? Y'all think I should be more harsh or I should be more lenient? What y'all think? Y'all think I ain't gonna be able to stream again? This man, The Rock, is beefing with the army. Yeah, this man living life like a movie. He think he in Fast and Furious for real. How you beefing with the army? Bro, life is crazy, bro. We got The Rock beefing with the army, bro. It's strange because why I can't identify a 60-year-old and go compete in AAU again or high school. Let me be. That's crazy. Just well, like I said, that's the thing, man. I know you. Once again, I know you're joking. Justin. But that's a thing again, right? When you say stuff like that, people will like, yeah, man. Why not? Well, even that's different because now you talk about age, but it's the same in a certain way because there are people out there trying to legalize being attracted to a child. These are facts. I'm not making this up. So some people do think that age is inconsequential in some regards. So, but that's when that's the Pandora's box that you open when you talk about saying that you could essentially choose what you want to be, which I mean, hey, be happy. Like I said, I'm not knocking it, man, but in sports, I feel like I have a responsibility, especially now that I have a boxing channel and a WNBA channel. I really cover the WNBA like that. I need to drop a video on USA and Belgium, but I had to stream. I have a responsibility to do what I think is right by those that I enjoy partaking in or observing. And hell, I mean, what's the name? She's a female, Megan Rapinoe, and I don't want to put words in people's mouth, but if I'm not mistaken, last time I checked, she was for. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I believe when you're a boy going to a girl, you're a trans woman. Yeah, so she's for the inclusion of trans women in female sports, and I could disagree with her, I consider myself a liberal and a progressive, yeah, I'm on the left side, but I'm not far left. Like, I feel like people think, and we see it in boxing, right? There's like the dude that came here earlier. I can't remember his name right now. Shout out to him. I'm not mad at him though. But if he wants to be mad and leave, that's up to him. But yeah, it's like when people think that you can't have an opinion on something, you can't like something without thinking that whatever you like is infallible. Like, just because I like Megan Rapinoe, that don't mean that I think that she's infallible or everything that she does is right. Or just because I'm a Democrat, that don't mean that I agree with everything Kamala Harris says. Or because I'm not a Republican, that means I don't agree with some of the things that Trump says. But it's the totality, you know what I'm saying? Holistically, and everything considered, more of my ideologies and my sentiments and my beliefs align with the left. So that's why I went to right. Align with the left. Align with the left. So that's why I'm left. That don't mean that I agree with everything. No. Who agrees with everything? Bro, I've been in multiple relationships. Well, 2 relationships that lasted 6 years. I didn't agree with everything they thought. They didn't agree with everything I thought. I have a mama that I love dearly. She's not perfect. I'm not perfect. She don't think I'm perfect. And we don't agree on everything. So I feel like when people agree with everything, that means that you're an irrational, illogical, emotional groupie. That's what you are. You're not a thinker. You're just a groupie. You're not listening. Like, there's no way that you agree with. We're all individuals. Nobody should agree on everything. I don't care how close you are. I don't care how much you in love you are. I don't care how much you like somebody. I don't care how much. You're not gonna agree on everything. So there's plenty of things I could tell you that I disagree with. But the majority of my my beliefs align with that. So, but anyway, you played it safe enough that kept it P at the same time, man. Appreciate that, Kendrick. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. I tried, bro. When I read 16-year-old, I got scared. 6'9", that's crazy. Freaky ninjas. Okay, so how about you fight me? You can be any age for amateur. And you can go pro at 15. Yeah, bro, no, you're right on point. No judgment, but it's a competitive advantage. Yeah, facts, Justin. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It's a competitive advantage, and that would defeat the purpose, bro. Justin, think about this. Since we're talking about and this is boxing, it's right on topic with the Olympics, right? With the controversy in the Olympics right now, it's right on boxing. It's perfect. If we don't care about competitive advantages, there'll be no weight classes. So if you're gonna disregard competitive advantages, then Usyk might as well go fight anyway. Why not? You don't care about competitive advantages. We could scream fairness right there. Oh, you're gonna exclude me? Why can't, if I'm Usyk, you're gonna hate on me just because I'm big? Why can't I have an opportunity to be undisputed in 15 weight classes? Oh, because I was born bigger? No, bro. You cannot manipulate things like that. When you have separation by design of what you are and how you are, that you got to understand that is established to ensure fairness and equality and make sure people like you aren't going against somebody that may have a competitive advantage and may overwhelm you or keep or even hurt you, or you know what I'm saying, or so yeah, you might as well say there's no weight classes. If you're gonna say that we don't care about competitive advantages, then Pacquiao should go fight Anthony Joshua. Why not? He's 45. Who cares about age? I mean, well, hell, we kind of close to there. Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it. It's been 8 months. I'm taking TRT before the live. My chest is going to look like a football pad. That's what I'm talking about, Daniel. Let's get right, bro. Get right, man. Go easy, though, man. I mean, go hard, but go easy, too, at the same time. Don't overdo it. Make sure you're eating right, and make sure you take your proper breaks and listening to your trainers and stuff like that. Go hard. They'll definitely go hard, but so yeah, man. So people, I remember, like I said, I made the USA boxing thing. This is months ago when they first talked about it, and then somebody, like, people are so ignorant, and that's the part that I don't understand. When people are ignorant to a topic, yet they have the audacity to comment. I made a video saying that, we should keep this stuff separate, with the USA boxing, keep women against women and men against men. And even if we have to, let's make a trans league, a division for trans. So it helps them and doesn't discriminate them. They can still compete. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want, right? On an even playing field. And then someone hopped in my comments and said, oh, well, I'd rather fight. I'm a girl and I'd rather fight a dude as long as we're the same size. She said, I'd rather fight. No, sorry. Let me say what they said verbatim. They said, I'm a girl and I'd rather fight a dude than fight a girl that's 2 times my size. So she said, I'm a girl and I'd rather fight a dude as opposed to fighting a girl that's twice my size. So when she said that, bro, in my head, all I did was just say this. So I responded to her alarm. I said, so you clearly don't know about boxing, and if you don't know, that's okay. But why would you comment on something that you're uneducated about? So either you care enough to know, or you don't care enough to know, and you shut up. But you can't do both. You can't not care enough to not do your research, but then care enough to say something so idiotic as saying that you'd rather fight a boy than fight a girl that's twice your size. First of all, this is boxing. Nobody in boxing history since probably like the 1800s has ever boxed somebody that's twice their size. They have weight divisions, but this person doesn't even know that boxing has weight divisions. So she would never fight a girl that's twice her size, you idiot, because they have weight classes for that. You see what I'm saying? And all but it just lets you know that people are so audacious and ready to have an opinion about anything, and they don't even know the ins and outs. So that goes back to what I was saying with the Algerian athlete and the Taiwanese athlete. It's like, I can't just say that what this person is because I don't know. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't care enough, because of the little piece that I saw. That was enough for me. I don't even care what they are classified as or identify as. It doesn't matter. That has little consequence to the conversation at hand. What's most important and what's imperative is the fact that they took some tests to classify or categorize themselves with a certain division of the sport, and when it comes to the other competitors or participants excluding themselves, they have a competitive advantage, an unfair advantage, and that's enough for me. I don't care how you got the unfair advantage. I don't care if it was intentional or unintentional, unbeknownst to you, or known to you, or accidental, incidental. I don't care. If you have an advantage, you should not be competing. Because that's the sanctity of the sport, is to have everybody on an even playing field as much as possible and see who the best man or woman is. It's not to have an advantage. So I don't even care, so that's what we got to be careful in, because now, but still it doesn't matter though, because you could say people are still gonna call you whatever they want anyway. So somebody might say that I'm heterophobic or homophobic or transphobic or whatever, even though I didn't even comment on that, but it is what it is. Heavy is the head that wears a crown. So you say whatever you want, I'm still gonna keep the same energy. There has to be a toxic woman. She has to come. She was coming just trying to pull an argument out the clouds. Yes, bro. Yes, just pull an argument. I was like, why would you ever fight somebody that's twice your size? Boxing has weight classes for weight divisions since the dinosaurs were walking the earth. You sound dumb. So you would never fight a woman twice your size. Literally impossible. Because if you're twice somebody's size, you'll probably be you'll probably be 6 divisions. You'll probably be 8 divisions above them. Stupid. Yeah, go look. It's still there. Man, let me see if I can find it. Oh, I don't know if I can find it. But yeah, it's still on my video, bro. Like, what are you talking about, bro? But that's how people are. It's like I said with the Ryan Garcia stuff, man. People are all over me, bro. Talking about, oh, I'm so dumb and I'm so wrong, and I ended up being right, bro. A lot of people deleted their message because they were embarrassed, but nobody said, hey, man, I apologize, bro. You were right, bro. I was wrong. It's an obvious trans rights over women's rights issue. It's ridiculous to say that logic is any kind of phobic. Yeah, I agree, Tech. What's good? My brother Tech in the building. And that's the sad part. But like I said, I know you probably just came in, Tech. But that's the thing. I don't want to label them as trans because I don't know. From what I read, and I can send it to you if you like, the article I read, it didn't classify them as trans. So I think that we also too want to be careful of making any type of erroneous or impulsive assessments, because we want to make sure that we directing our energy in the appropriate place. And to me, the appropriate place is the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, or the IBA, the International Boxing Association, because they did not disclose the procedure or the test that they administered to classify these people. You know what I'm saying? So, or misclassify these people. So I think that we have to be careful too, because we don't want to just say that, oh, you're this, and that might be inaccurate, but from what I read, they said that they weren't transgender, they were intergender. But like I said, for me, it doesn't matter what you are. It matters what you ain't. And what you ain't is something that is genetically comparable to the women that are competing, or the other female participants that are competing under quote unquote normal circumstances. So if you're not under normal circumstances, by default, I don't care what you are or identify as. I don't care what you look like, what you dress like, what your work like, what you're attracted to, what you're freaking. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about that stuff. It's inconsequential. It's not fair. And if it's not fair, then that should not be allowed to compete, because you should not have a competitive advantage. That's what we don't want. Yo, what fight you most excited about this week? My boy Brian in the building. I'm most excited about Pitbull versus Rayo. Well, okay, so yeah, so the fight that I'm most excited about is Isa Pitbull Cruz versus Jose Rayo Venezuela. The person I'm most excited to see is Bud, because you know what I'm saying, I'm most excited to see Bud because I want to see, you know, he's a pound for pound fighter, right? 1, 2, or 3. You know what I'm saying? Whether you have him 1, 2, or 3, Inoue, Usyk, or Bud, those are the only right answers. And you know, you want to see an all-time great perform again. And I haven't seen him since since last time he brutalized and devastated Errol Spence. So I want to see him again. I'm excited to see him. But the fight that I think is going to be the most competitive and most exciting is Isa Pitbull Cruz versus Rayo Venezuela. In fact, I'm probably more excited to see Bacoli versus Jared Anderson too. You know, I want to see that fight too. So, but I'm definitely excited for the main event as well. But to answer your question, what fight I want to see the most is Pitbull and Rayo. That woman trained her whole life to fight exactly, Tech, exactly. The Italian woman, Carini, I believe her name is, and the powers that be don't care about the women of these sports. That label don't mean S. The result is unfair. That's my point. That, and you're on the same page. I know I kind of not to be short, but I didn't want to go through I gave a whole spiel. So I didn't want to go through it again, but as you essentially summed up what I was saying. Yeah, I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want people to, because I saw somebody say that, the Algerian boxer, which is a person in question, and the Taiwanese boxer, those are the two that are in question. I saw somebody make a post saying, it's sad that she's being bullied. No, the person that got bullied is a person that got punched in their face to the point where she wanted to quit something that she trained her whole life for, because she knew that person had an unfair advantage. That's the person that got bullied. Now, as the other person getting attacked, yes, the other person is getting attacked and probably getting attacked unfairly, but that's because the IOC won't disclose the information that they have to reinforce the decision for their inclusion, and then the IBA won't disclose the information that they have that led to their decision to exclude them from their competition last year. So you see what I'm saying? So we have one IBA that administered a test or a procedure, and from their findings, they determined that they wanted to exclude them from competition. They're not disclosing what it is, though. It's confidential. And then the IOC is saying, hey, man, they had an arbitrary test, and we don't know what it is, but we did our test, and we're including them. But they're also not disclosing what their tests were. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's why people are able to conspire, to theorize and speculate, and yeah, even conspire and give out these conspiracy theories, because we don't know what it is. And that's what people do naturally when they don't know something. Instead of saying, hey, I don't know something, they're just gonna go, okay, I feel like this, so this has to be right. You see what I'm saying? So at the core of it, if this person is not comparable from a biochemical standpoint or biological standpoint to the other participants under this particular label of women's boxing or men's boxing or women's basketball or men's basketball, if you're not in the right category, then you by default you have an unfair competitive advantage. And that's what I want to emphasize in sports. Any and all unfair competitive advantages should be discouraged and should be prohibited. I don't have nothing to do with hate, have nothing to do with phobia, have nothing to do with none of that. Live your life, be happy. You know, I'm a man of God. We all sin. Let the person who sinned cast the first stone. And I know I'm sinful. I repent every day. So everybody may not sin the same. And I'm not in a position to judge your sin, and you're not in a position to judge mine. We all got to talk to God at the end of the day. You know, so however that conversation goes is entirely up to you. As long as if you want to pursue your happiness, I applaud you and I encourage you and I even support you. Do whatever you want that makes you happy, but your happiness should not infringe or hinder somebody else's life or ability to succeed or their goals or endeavors either, because of your choices. Because who I like, what I identify as, what I do does not impede or hinder you. And if it does, then I'm probably doing something wrong. So you know what I'm saying? So that out of fairness. Let's see what my boy said. That woman trained. Yep, he said, to quote a famous movie, "Stick your feathers up your butt." Don't. Hey yo.
What do you mean by that?
It don't make you a chicken, but it make you Oscar De La Hoya. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, yo.
What?
I'm just playing. Shout out to Oscar De La Fishnets. Daniel said he's looking for Bud versus Madrimov. Hey, yes, sir. That's going to be a good one, man. I think people are underestimating Madrimov, but I got Bud winning for sure. I got Bud winning. I got Pitbull winning. I got Andy Ruiz winning. I want to talk about that too. Jarrell Big Baby Miller, man. Jarrell Big Baby Miller, even though I have Andy Ruiz winning, Jarrell Big Baby Miller came in good shape, man. And he was kind of convincing me, making me like, hey, man, I don't know, you know. But Jarrell Big Baby Miller, he does not learn, man. Remember last time we saw him? Last time we saw him when he was about to fight Daniel Dubois, he was, what happened at the press conference? He was going back and forth with Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua beat Otto Wallen. Jarrell Big Baby Miller lost to Dubois. What happened this time? He's at the press conference. He starts arguing with Jared Big Baby Anderson. Bro, focus on your fight, bro. Like, you don't learn, bro. Hard head make a soft back, you know? Hard head make a soft back. So that's what I'm like, man. I don't know, man. But I had Andy Ruiz anyway. But Jarrell Big Baby Miller, he definitely looks focused, man. He looks in shape. So that's gonna be a good fight. But I got Andy Ruiz. I got David Morrell beating Hot Rod Kaladzik. Hot Rod Kaladzik. I got Andy Cruz beating Antonio Moran, and I'm missing the fight. David Morrell beating Hot Rod. Andy Ruiz beating Big Baby Anderson. I mean, Big Baby Miller. Jarrell Big Baby Miller. I got Martin Bacoli beating Jared Big Baby Anderson. Got no hate for anyone who wants to think they are whatever they want to be. But when it comes to competition, it should be fair. Facts. I know you don't. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I know you well enough to I already know that. So you ain't got to explain nothing over here. The whole card is fire. Facts. Fire. Facts. Big facts. But yeah, I know you don't, man. But yeah, we got to stand on stuff, man. Because if you don't, sometimes, you know, it's one thing. Like, we could be quiet, and I don't subscribe to the people that say I do think you should always stand up for what's right, number one. But I don't, you know, some people say, oh, if you don't say nothing, then you're just as guilty as people that's doing the wrong. I don't subscribe to that. I don't agree with that. But I do think if you don't say something, then you should feel a little guilty, you know, because, you know, one person has a lot of power, you know. And I think that when we see wrongdoings, we should speak up for our brethren and our sister, whether it impacts us directly or not. So I do think we do have a responsibility to speak up and say how we feel. But if somebody feels another way, that's fine. You can feel that way. I'm just going to tell you why I feel differently. But I don't like when people make it seem like, oh, you have to conform. If you don't conform, then you're wrong and you're bullying. No, man. Sometimes, I'm going to be honest, man. I'm going to be very honest. Sometimes the people that scream they're getting bullied are actually the bullies. And just remember that. Sometimes, because everybody's doesn't have to be compliant, man. You could feel some way just because I like apples. That don't mean you have to like apples. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't like apples, you shouldn't try to gangbang on my apples and try to take a napalm and burn them down. You know, so I don't have to agree with your lifestyle, but that don't mean I don't think that you shouldn't have the right to live and be who you are and love and live a great life and be happy. And we don't have to agree on stuff, but when you want to cause harm to somebody, that's when you're wrong. That's when you're wrong. Baby on baby crime. We need that. We need that. Amen. Appreciate it, Tech. Appreciate it, brother. 3 passes to a touchdown from kick. Hey, I always just hear Crawford in my head. Focus on your fight before you don't make it to your fight when stuff like that. Yeah, facts. And Gerald Big Baby Miller did that last time. And I would love to see baby on baby crime. Pause. Yeah, that sounds crazy. Baby on.
What do you mean by that?
I would love to see Big Baby Anderson versus Big Baby Miller. Can you imagine the build up for that fight? That'd be spectacular, man. Who's the real Big Baby? You know what I'm saying? That'd be great. But Big Baby Miller, I don't want to see that fight if Big Baby Miller loses. You know, and I ain't gonna lie, if Jared Anderson loses, I would still want to see the fight. But if Big Baby loses, if Jarrell Miller loses, I don't really want to see him against anybody. You know, I'll watch it if he's gonna fight somebody, but there's nobody that I want him to fight this person. No. But I think if he wins and Jarrell Big Baby Anderson loses, I still think Anderson could have some good fights still left. But Jarrell Big Baby Miller, man, I think this is kind of, I don't want to say, I can't tell nobody to retire, you know what I'm saying, like that. But just considering the circumstances, you know, how he lost to Dubois, came in overweight, and now he dedicated himself and looking good. And if he loses to Andrew Ruiz, then I feel like it's not really much. I don't think. You know, hell, Derek Chisora just beat Joe Joyce, so it's like, if Big Baby Miller ain't gonna win this. It's like, dang. I honestly feel like this is a make or break for both of them, for Andy Ruiz and Big Baby Miller. I think Ruiz gonna box it. Yeah, I think so too. I got Ruiz beating Miller, but he looked good, man, and Ruiz. So Ruiz looked very calm. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing, you know. I don't know. So, but yeah, I had Ruiz. I'm sticking with all my picks. I got Ruiz over Miller. I got Bacol. I actually had both Big Babies losing. I had Big Baby Miller losing to Andy Ruiz, and I had Big Baby Anderson losing to Martin Bacoli, from the Congo, man. Shout out to my Congolese brethren and sister out there, man. My boy Martin Bacoli from the Congo. So yeah, I got them both winning. But I will tell you this too, Tech. I'm kind of y'all know I got Pitbull, one of my favorite fighters to watch, but I don't really like how they're doing Rayo, man. I don't like how people are doing Rayo. It's not just because I can relate. I just think it was kind of corny. But then I thought about it, I was like, man, I could actually relate to that. It's like, like I said, I'm Jamaican, Nigerian, and American, right? How dare somebody tell me I'm not Jamaican because I wasn't raised in Jamaica? Or someone tell me I'm not Nigerian because I wasn't raised in Nigeria. Or someone tell me I'm not American because I wasn't raised in America, even though I was raised in America. But my point is that if you take away the Jamaican out of me, I'm not me. If you take away the Nigerian out of me, I'm not me. If you take away the American out of me, I'm not me. You know, my mom is Jamaican, my dad's Nigerian. I was born in America. Rayo, some people are saying he's not Mexican. He's not a real Mexican because he wasn't born. Because he wasn't raised in Mexico. Like that man, like, I don't care if he was raised in Tijuana or raised in New York City or raised in Oklahoma or raised in Mexico, or Guadalajara or raised in Seattle. It doesn't matter. That man is Mexican because his parents are Mexican. His blood or his mom and his dad's blood run through him. And if that's the culture he was brought in, I think that's very corny and disrespectful, bro. So I wouldn't be mad if Ray. Basically, what I'm saying, I wouldn't be mad if Rayo wins. I would not be mad. I think that's just disrespectful, and that kind of makes me want to lean towards Jose Valenzuela, even though I like Pitbull more. And I don't know if Pitbull's saying it, but I just seen a lot of people saying that. I'm like, bro, y'all crazy, man. I just think boxing has the most ignorant fans, man. But boxing is a divisive sport, so. But yeah, I think boxing is very ignorant, dog. I'm gonna tell the man he not really Mexican. What? I be seeing them say that about David Benavidez too. I think his mom's Ecuadorian and his dad's Mexican, or maybe I have it vice versa. Maybe his dad's Ecuadorian, his mom's Mexican, or whatever. I don't know, but tell somebody what they are because they don't meet your standards or your criteria. What the, like, bro? Shut up, bro. He said that's dumb. I promise you, I'm Irish through and through, and only been there a handful of times. Right, exactly. There's some ignorant shit. Right, exactly. Is this the fight Bud stoppage streak? Hey, might, yeah, because he's on 11 KO streak, right, Justin? He has 11 KOs in a row, so yeah, it might stop. I don't know. I mean, I think he stops Madrimov late rounds, like 10 or 11. Just because I watched Madrimov and he has some stuff that a guy like Bud will capitalize off of. Like he throws some wide punches sometimes. Sometimes he lunges in because he's athletic, so he takes advantage of his athleticism, rightfully so. But sometimes he'll do some stuff that is that we know Bud with his counter punching prowess and his precision with his punches, his accuracy, that could be very dangerous to fight like that against a Crawford type fighter. So I could see him being outpointed, and I could see a lot of things that he could capitalize off of. But we cannot neglect that he's a naturally bigger man, right? This is Bud's debut at 154, so there's no telling how he'll handle the punches and the power of Madrimov. Of course, he sparred with people, but like I said, I don't subscribe to the notion that sparring is everything. Sparring does mean something, but like I said, I was only an amateur boxer, and when I boxed, every time I sparred, well, not every time, but I say like 8 out of 10 times or 9 out of 10 times that I was sparring, I was working on something. There's very few times that I'm going all out. So I would like to think that these professionals are the same. So whenever they're sparring, I think that they're working on something. So even if you're sparring a bigger man, I'm pretty sure that bigger man isn't, maybe a few times, but isn't always trying to knock your head off. And he's on the same level as you. Israil Madrimov is coming to knock your head off. Same with Terence Crawford. But I just think it's different when since Israil Madrimov is a naturally bigger guy. So like I said, I still think Terence Crawford wins. I do think he stops him, but we'll see how he handles it, man. I'm not certain on how well he'll handle 154. And we got to remember, too, that this is in preparation to get him to his ultimate goal, which is taking on Canelo at 168, 2 weight classes above. So, yeah. Jason Kelsey's at halftime paying for that trip to see Biles. Hey, once they win Super Bowl, they don't care. Hey, shout out to Simone Biles, man. She went crazy at the Olympics. Shout out to Simone Biles. Shout out to the American rugby team. They're the first rugby sevens team. The women's, they're the first rugby team, period, rugby sevens team to win a medal on behalf of the United States, man. So shout out to the women's rugby sevens team, man. They took home the bronze medal. That was a crazy play at the end of regulation for against Australia. They went crazy. Shout out to them, man. Shout out to all the women that competed, you know, and doing their thing. But yeah, man. So it was brought to my attention. He does have a good lunging left hook, so Bud needs to be on the lookout for that. Yeah, but man, I ain't gonna lie, I think Bud is probably, and I'm not just being caught up in the moment or being facetious when I make this statement. I think that Bud is probably the last boxer that you want to lunge in against, unless you have him dazed or wobbled or you see something that you could capitalize on specifically. You don't want to be lunging as a part of your repertoire or your game plan, and that's what Madrimov does. So now, you know, he has a good camp. I'm sure he has a great trainer. Joel Diaz is definitely a great trainer, so I'm sure they worked on these things, but I'm not sure. Shout out to the Brace volleyball suits too, doing their things. I don't know what your predictive text is crazy. But nah, I don't like that one dude, man. That one dude I think he was a swimmer, and he's now a volleyball player, man. We definitely know shout out to him. That sexual assault, bro. This Olympics is crazy, bro. Like, if you just think about everything that's with it, man, the inclusion of him, you know, he committed sexual assault, and now he's playing beach volleyball, and then, you know, it's crazy. Then we got Josh Giddey. The stuff that he went through with the predation on the children. What up with it, Clone? My boy Clone in the building. Smoochy. I switched it up. I had to say your name twice. I had to say Smoochy. I can't say the other thing I said the other day because that was wild.
What?
That was a pause. Caught myself this time. Got to be more careful. But yeah, I gotta go back and watch the full press conference, man. I think this fight is. Are there any fights tomorrow? There's no fights tomorrow, right? I don't think so. Wait, does no. Wait, does the Steve Nelson guy fight? Let me see. Wait, he might fight tomorrow. I think he fights out tomorrow, right? The Steve Nelson on I don't know. It might be a prelims. It might be prelim on YouTube. But the last boxer you want to just hurt, you better put him clean out because he flips a switch. He really like a Super Saiyan. Hurt Bud is the most dangerous fighter I've ever seen. Yeah. We'll see, man. We shall see, man. I'm looking forward to it, bro. I think it's gonna be a great card. Every fight is explosive. Now, is it a great card for casuals? Probably not. But for boxing purists, man, and people who watch boxing, like pugilist enthusiasts, this fight is great, bro. Like, every fight is fireworks, man. You want knockouts, you don't miss this card. This is a knockout. I mean, it might not end in knockouts, you know. So, but if any card's gonna end in knockout, bro, I'll be shocked if more than 2 of these fights don't end in a knockout. I'll be shocked if more than 2 of these fights go to decision. I will be shocked if 2 of these fights go the distance. I'll be shocked. I don't think so, bro. The 2 that I think, if they go decision, it'll probably be, even though I got Bacoli winning against Jared Anderson, I think that fight could possibly go the distance. And it's so funny because I think the ones that are most likely to go the distance are the 2 heavyweight fights, which is crazy, right? That sounds counterintuitive. I'm thinking that Jared Anderson And Bacoli may go the distance, surprisingly, and then Ruiz and Miller may go the distance, but I don't know. But if I had to put, well, that's not true. I guess I could see Andy Cruz and Antonio Moran going the distance too. I take that back. I forgot about Antonio Moran, and I could see that going the distance too. Andy Cruz should stop him, but I could see Antonio Moran and Andy Cruz going the distance. David Morrell, I think David Morrell is going to stop Hot Rod. Who we betting on, man? I don't know, clone. I'll tell you who I think's winning. I think David Morrell's beating Radvijo Kaladzik, Hot Rod Kaladzik. I think Dave Morrell's beating him. I think Andy Cruz beating Antonio Moran. I think Andy Ruiz is beating Gerald Big Baby Miller. I think Martin Bacoli's beating Jared Big Baby Anderson. I think Esau People Cruz is beating Rayo Valenzuela. And I think Terrence Bud Crawford is beating Israil Madrimov. Thinking about going Bud by decision, probably get better. Oh yeah, facts. So I think there will be decisions, but I'm saying that I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's very all the fights except for maybe Antonio Moran versus Andy Cruz, the decision is the underdog. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's probably more money to go to bet by decision. I feel like all the fights on this card, the decision is the least likely outcome. That's what I'm trying to say. Travis Kelce, hey, Turkey just flexing. He made a great card and didn't even go to Vegas. Facts. That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, bro. That's what I think is going on, man. He's just flexing, bro. He's like, bro, I don't need to go to Vegas. I don't need to have these people, big known people. I don't have to appeal to the casuals. And I'm still gonna make a big card. Shout out to Turk, man. Big Turk. Ruiz by UD. Hey, I got Bud by stoppage in the 10th. Yeah, I'm thinking about the same thing. Ruiz by UD. Yeah. Yeah, because Gerald Big Baby Miller, even though he got stopped by Dubois, he didn't get knocked out, right? The referee stepped in, so Gerald Big Baby Miller got hard. Any upset in those predictions? Martin Bacoli, that was the upset. Everybody else I went with the favorite. Terrence Crawford's a favorite over Israil Madrimov. Esau Cruz is a favorite over Valenzuela. David Morrell's a favorite over Hot Rod. Andy Cruz a favorite over Antonio Moran. Andy Ruiz is a slight favorite over Miller. That one's the closest one, I think, as far as odds go, betting odds. And then Bacoli is the underdog against Anderson. Yeah, I got Bacoli, so that's the only one that's the underdog. That I chose. Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Ooh. Yeah, but Coley by stop is probably gonna get some big bread on your head. That's probably big bread. Don't forget to like the video too, please. Don't forget to like the video. This man Johnny Garcia, he really. I just saw that he really. I'm assuming it's him. I had 1,509 subscribers, and this man really unsubscribed because I told him. Yo, people are funny, bruh. The man said I was sensitive, and he unsubscribed because I told him that I don't want to see Tank versus Esau People Cruz immediately. Yo, people are too sensitive, man. Get out your feeling, man. You're emotional, bro. Bud by decision is plus 220. Hey, yeah, I mean that makes sense, right? He's on an 11 KO fight streak. I mean, he's on 11. He's on 11 KO streak. Yeah, I didn't put any money on any of the fights. I might have to do that though. But yeah, man, chat. We had a good conversation, man. KO is negative 150. Sheesh. What site you looking on? DraftKings or what? Since I'm in Florida, I go to Hard Rock. I haven't bet on a fight in a minute though. But chat, I'm about to go get some food, man. Look at him, emotional. Yeah, facts. Look at you, emotional. Bro, I said the man tried to put words in my mouth, bro. FanDuel, okay. I said, bro, I never said that Pitbull versus Tank is a bad fight. A rematch is a bad fight. I just said that there's so many other fights for the two of them that I'd much rather see. I'd rather see Tank versus Shakur. I'd rather see Tank versus Loma. I'd rather see Tank versus Zapata. And then for Isaac Pitbull Cruz, I'd rather see him try to unify. First, he got to get by Rayo Valenzuela, but I'd rather see him versus Liam Paro. I'd rather see him versus Devin Haney. I'd rather see him versus, who's the other champion at 140? Teofimo. You see what I'm saying? Before I see now, I know he wants it for the money fight. Of course he should want it. It's boxing, so I would watch it, but that's not a fight that I prioritize. But I'm not against any fight. Of course I'd watch it. Man, try to say, oh, you don't want to see it because you protecting Tank. What? You a groupie, bro. I like boxing, bro. I like boxing because the boxers box. I don't like them because they're not boxing, so why would I feel the need to protect anybody? People have their opinions, though. Hey, no matter how illogical, emotional, and overall stupid it is, they have their opinions. Last two bets I made were Park over Wilder and Park over Zhang. Hey, let's get right. Let's get right. I know you turned up on them odds for Park over Wilder. Those are probably better than the odds for Park over Zhang too. That's what's up, man. Those are good bets. But yeah, chat, man, I'm about to go ahead and call it, man. You know we about to turn up for the stream tomorrow. I think there's I don't know if Steve Nelson is fighting tomorrow or if that's on the prelims. Cause that card yesterday was good. That card yesterday, the Pro Box card and the Riyadh season card yesterday was pretty good. Okay, yeah, he's fighting on the yeah, Steven Nelson is fighting he's fighting on Saturday. It's not tomorrow. Okay, so he is fighting on Saturday. Just on the prelims, probably on the free joint on YouTube. Andy Lee got Parker at his peak. Yeah, he does. He definitely does, man. I wasn't really impressed by the Deontay Wilder win because I thought Deontay Wilder just looked so shot, like a shell of himself. But I was impressed by the Zhang win. I actually had Zhang beating Parker, so I was impressed by that win, man. He overcame 2 knockdowns on the man. He looked good. He looked good, bro. And chat, man, have a great night, fight fans. I appreciate y'all coming through, man. You ever do prop bets? My own boy won 300 on 3 knockdowns for Bud versus and lost 100 to me. Nah, I never do prop bets, but that's a good one, yeah, cause Bud was walking through Spence. But yeah, man, I gotta go get some food, man. I'm a little hungry, man. Please don't forget to like the video. I appreciate y'all rocking with me as always, man. I love the conversations, man, that we have. I love the fact that we could have the conversations, man. I really enjoy it. We can always debate and stuff like that. Anybody want to join the channel, y'all know y'all can. As always, please join the Discord. As always, man, and come through and we can have a conversation about how we feel. Ain't nobody attacking nobody. Ain't nobody doing that, you know. Buddy knocking buddy out. Buddy knocking buddy out. Boy, Bud going crazy. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be easy. Take care of yourselves. I'm thinking about doing a morning show as well, chat. I want to know what y'all think about that. So let me know in the Discord or whatever. I'm thinking about doing a morning show. I just don't know what time. I'm probably going to do like 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Probably 8 o'clock. And then so we'll do a morning show and an evening show. I just got to make sure I have the content to talk about. Yeah, man, I have plans to take over this boxing thing, man. You know, I feel like we have good opinions and we have good conversation and all that good stuff and bonbons. But yeah, y'all be easy, man. I'm gonna pray on it and see how it goes. But we're always gonna keep our 7 o'clock Monday through Friday time slot though, so that ain't going nowhere. But we might just add an additional show to catch people while they going to work on the East Coast. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. But yeah, y'all be easy. Take care of yourselves. Remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. Go like the video too. Like this video and go check out the video I dropped about David Morrell. Go like that one too. Watch the whole thing. Yeah, man.
From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.